Good job, King. Good job, King.
Okay, I got something on here called OMG. I don't know what the source is. I'm gonna click it and see what happens.
He's not dead yet.
Oh,
Do we go for the cross of Tatsu? He goes for the universal overhead, then backs away. Jazz is up in danger.
Oh,
Oh my god, no.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
No, he's dead. Oh, oh my goodness. All right, now I know what that clip is, and I don't need it anymore. But it was a good one. Damn, I remember that. That Evo was sick. Some Norwegian dude, thanks for the tier 3. 44 months, perfect streak. That's a big tier. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Combat Chan, thanks for the big prime. 20 months. 2 months streak. Thanks a lot. 20 months. Big. And Obi Watts, thanks to the tier 1 for 39. Closing in on 42. Also hello to YouTube as well. I got a would you rather real quick here. And then I might go for a walk. Would you rather be attractive but very annoying, or be unattractive but very charismatic? If you're looking for a YouTube or streamer career, let me tell you, both of these work very well. But I've clearly made my choice. Anyway, how you guys doing this fine evening? Oh man. Today I have some content prepared. Whenever we get around to it. But the last few streams have been just Age of Sigmar, Age of Sigmar, Age of Sigmar. All this gaming, TTS. Tabletop simulacrum. And I've enjoyed myself. Except for how my army works. But aside from that, I've been enjoying myself. Only good opponents and good games. It's been kind of nice. I've been typing away. Best stream this side of the Rift. Hey, speaking of Rift, plural. This Thursday is return to Rifts. We had to take a week off due to scheduling conflicts. But this week, Thursday, mark the calendar, 6 p.m. sharp. The Rifts return with adventure number 2. Should be good. Please enjoy my long-ass intro cutscenes. And the party getting to choose their own adventure finally. The first adventure was a little bit on rails, you know, and I let people know that would be the case. But now, absolute freedom. They got the world map. They can go anywhere and do anything. And what they chose to do was follow one of the threads, one of the MacGuffins, which will take them to Repeater Town 7. Sunny, Repeater Town 7, July. It's in between everywhere you want to be. So a lot of Star Wars Cantina kind of Cowboy Bebop, New West, mutants and aliens all over the place, cityscape, lots of NPCs, lots of talking to people and searching for clues and that kind of thing. And the second half of introductions for Rifts-related things, you know, we introduced the world a little bit and the satellites and some of the weird races and the magic and the weapons and the Rifts themselves and the coalition and all this other stuff. But we haven't seen much out of, I guess, some of the other real classic stuff that you think of when you think of Rifts, so we'll see how that works out. Played your first AOS game on Saturday. Pretty hype about it. Pretty hoop. Yeah, I like it. I like 4th. I'm going to do a video where I get down my early thoughts about 4th, and then we can look at it later like a time capsule and be like, look at this young child who, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, thinking about the future. He thought that this thing was good, but then 6 months later, now everyone hates it or whatever. Anyway, so I'm thinking about typing up a little thing and doing a video on initial impressions for 4th edition as a core rule set. I just finished one right now for Ogor tribes, the index, the whole thing. Because I did a lot of, we had a lot of test games. I did a bunch off stream as well. And I got my thoughts down and did a full-on review. Imagine designing a role-playing game with actual role-playing mechanics. I mean, there's a lot of them. They're just not the most popular ones, that's all. And I like D&D just fine. It's not like the only one, but I like D&D just fine. Show them why they should fear the Glitter Boy rail cannon. It's perfectly balanced physics. It's perfectly balanced. Glitter Boy rail cannon, yeah, it does a shitload of damage with those flechette rounds. Supersonic speed. Can't really fire it in town. Robot's got a shitload of MD, but it's not like it flies. It's not particularly fast. Can't do anything, just has a big gun. First of all, that's fun. But overpowered? I don't know. There's a lot of whack-ass shit you can do in the game. Contino, you better be careful with the music. Yeah, I don't play any music on the Rift streams because I want to be able to make little videos out of them later when I have time. How Midwest is so Midwest you can't pronounce Contino. I decide, so like all foreign words, and honestly a lot of American words barred from entry, I put it on a rotation. I pronounce it differently generally every other time, sometimes 2 in a row. Because I think it's maybe interesting, or sometimes funny. But yeah, it is Cantina, but imagine the sights he's seen, yeah. Chicken is marinating tonight, so you're pretty hype. Glitter Boy Rail Cannon, what'd you miss? Yeah, Glitter Boy is the, I would say the most famous armor suit from Rifts. It's sort of the, whatever the fuck the Fallout Boy suit. What's that thing from Fallout? You know, that armored suit? It's like that, except for Rifts, you know. Was once known as the Chromium Guardsman armor. Back in the olden days, but it has since gotten a different moniker. Then show him the power of Samus armor. I don't have to. Jupe's, one of the characters in the game, has essentially a Samus suit. It's not a bona fide Samus, but it's that class of suit. It's a, I want to say Northern Gun 2 version, which is just better. Samus are the shit. Which was the Navy's power armor of choice in the Golden Age, as opposed to Glitter Boy, which was the Army's power armor of choice in the Golden Age. You played versus Cruel Boys today. They slapped your shit. Iron Jaws feels like old corn. I see. I mean, it's not pronounced Riofts. Yeah, it is not. And neither are Gloomspite Giets, right? It's just kind of funny sometimes. You just got here, what kind of suit? Oh, Battletech? Yeah, and no, this is Rifts. It's close, though. I think Palladium like had the rights to Battletech for a little while, but I wouldn't count the two, really. And it's not Samus as in Samus Aran as in the video game. It's Samus as in S-A-M-A-S in all capitals. Samas. Can't remember what it stands for, but first game of 4-0 in the Spearhead this weekend. You broke out the Idna Deepkin versus Skaven. You'll have to tell me how it went. It was Spearhead though, right? Okay, yeah. Played Nighthaunt versus Cruel Boys and Spearhead the other night, not realizing Nighthaunt are apparently top in the winners and KB are the bottom right now. Right now, yeah, but I think Cruel Boys are way better than their percentage shows. I think Cruel Boys are way better than their percentage shows, but maybe I'm completely wrong. I could be. I gotta let people know that aren't used to things like this happening, but in Magic the Gathering, there's a concept, and that is right when a set releases, maybe it's a brand new standard, or it's a brand new format, or just something like that, nobody quite knows what's good yet. And so when nobody quite knows what's good yet, red tends to be good. Just fucking kill them. Everybody else is trying to figure, well, I got this combo. I don't know if the combo's good enough. I'm not quite sure how to protect it yet. I don't know what the good payoff card is. I want to play control, but it's hard to play control when you don't know what everyone's going to be playing yet. You know, everybody's tooling around and trying to figure out what's up, and the red players just roll in and fucking kill them. I'm going to reduce your life to 0. You're trying to do some fiddly shit, just kill them, right? But then the metagame matures a little bit, and red always gets worse, generally. And so that's a kind of a thing that's happening right now, because 4th edition just came out. Nobody quite knows how to play towards the edition perfectly yet. People's armies changed a lot, the role of certain units changed, and it's even slower in Warhammer, because you can't just buy 4 cards and then now you're good. You gotta paint shit up. People just play with what they happen to own, which might not be good anymore, or whatever. So anyway, point is, Right now is a magical time. It was the time when I tended to be the best, maybe record-wise, because I'm really good at very immediately realizing what's good and laser focusing in on it, but not the best pilot that never makes any mistakes or anything like that, you know. So anyway, enjoy this time. It's a cool time. It's a time of discovery. Long-ass diatribe to say that I think Cruel Boys is a lot better than their initial results show. And Night Haunter even better than their initial results show. And I think Ogres are slightly worse than their initial results show, but still good. I'm going to break from tradition here. I know you're supposed to downplay your own faction. It's the law. You have to. You got to downplay your faction, right? It's like in fighting games, you know, a Potemkin player. Dude, pot sucks. We need buffs, right? But yeah, Ogre Mod tribes, I think they're just a hair worse than they feel right now. Because they're real simple. They're just like a shitload of damage. A shitload of damage glass cannon army that doesn't necessarily have tricks. They're just wounds and damage. That's gonna be good right away. And it's gonna get a little worse, I think, as the metagame matures. But it's not like a trick. I don't think they're bad or anything. They're good. It's just if they're ever going to overperform, it would be right at the beginning, because their playstyle is so simple. You think Gitz is in a weird spot because no one has shoot-a-blobs? I would like to see what shoot-a-blobs do in real games on the table, yeah. The shoot-a-blobs and even the stabba guys were becoming very, very rare. The army kind of shrunk to be just a bunch of gits on one side, like boingy boys and stuff. Squigs, right? Gloomspite gits kind of shrunk to become some people with squig armies and then a lot of people with trog armies, and that's just what they own right now. Shoot-a-blob was my nickname in high school. Samus' strategic armor military assault suit. Oh, that makes sense. That's good. That's a good one. I like Samus. I think Samus is a good sounding name. It stands for something cool. Way better than Glitter Boy. That being said, if you don't like the name Glitter Boy because it sounds kind of dumb, it does, first of all. It was almost going to be called a boomer, which would have been even dumber, but also more appropriate nowadays, right? Anyway, I prefer Chromium Guardsman. It's got an air of, I don't know, some je ne sais quoi to it.
Good job, King.
And also, yeah, not nearly enough games have been adequately played to have, like, proper statistics or anything like that. Any similarity to events real or imagined is purely, you know, work of fiction, blah, blah. Ortiz thinks it's tier 1, 36. Thanks a lot. We're closing in on 41. People are sleeping on Stormcast. Stormcast, very good. Stormcast, as always, are very, very regimented. You find the exact thing that's the best at the one roll, and then it's inside its little prison. And then you find another thing that does this exact roll that you want. It's in its prison. And then you look at all of your cool hero options, and you gotta choose 2 of them. I haven't played against Stormcast, so I don't know. I don't know what they're good at right now. I haven't even looked into them, really, besides the index. So I don't have thoughts on Stormcast. Haven't played against them yet. Ionis looks super good. The Dragon actually looks kind of good. A lot of your cheap foot heroes seem good. Not having like an actual good wizard maybe is a problem, but the first time we looked at the foot wizard who leans into endless spells, we were all like, that guy sucks. What a bad job. And then we realized that in 4th edition, maybe that's a good job to have. Glitter Boy is what you got called in high school. Nice. Did you do 36 times 10? Major Monotone. You know, kinda same. First of all, good name. Welcome. HeyWoah in chat. Hope you're doing well. I am doing well today. I got a fan on over there. I hope you can't hear it. but it's causing me to not melt, which is very nice. The same name as the Bubblegum Crisis cyborgs. Yes, that's where, well, allegedly that's not where he got it, actually. He was going to call them boomers, and then he watched Bubblegum Crisis, because this was like in 88 or something. And he's like, I can't call them boomers. I can't call the game boomers, because that's the name of the thing in Bubblegum Crisis. And so he had a crisis. He had to change the name of both them and Rifts the game at like the last minute. And it was kind of a good thing that he didn't. But also I find it suspicious that he hadn't seen Bubblegum Crisis before then, because a lot of the art and concept art for a lot of the cyborgs is a dead ringer for the Bubblegum Crisis boomer cyborgs as well. But alright. The whole thing is rip-off and homage. That's what makes it so endearing. They just put it in there if they thought it was cool. Ahem. Ahem. To be honest, you're a Gits player and you stick to mobs, but it will be hard to go above 3 and 2 with them, you think. Okay. Reclusians are banging 150 points for pretty good melee profile. Stormcast feels like it will once again be the gatekeeper of great. Top of good being the poster boys should be the matter mark? Probably watermark, yeah. Still sounds neat, but you're in the you need to properly look into riffs and watch the actual play you did way. Yeah, so I'm using it as an introduction to everything so that no one's left behind and you're kind of all caught up. So the first adventure that I ran, I had like an intro cutscene and an explanation. I made a little music video with a bunch of stuff to get the feeling of it, and then, you know, we go into it. So, yeah, this is Riffs Week. Latino hot.
So fucking big. I'm sorry, my dude, but you're huge.
So fucking big. CG Busta, thanks for the 420 bits. Appreciate it. TYVM, thanks for the bits. Yeah, it's a Riffs Week this week. Thursday, 6 p.m. CST Central. Foot Wizard is fine. Krondis is a great 2-cast wizard. Yeah, I mean, you're looking at Krondis with the 3rd edition brain, and you're like, no ward, he's bad. But in 4th, he might be a thing. Maybe just for a fun/good list, not like a optimal one, but it, I don't know, it seems alright. Aren't Trogs doing pretty well in the Gits list? Yes. Jacoby thinks it's 200 bits. For the big. Thanks for the bits. Those are randomized right now, by the way. I'm running those through Twitch now instead of Stream Elements. And so if you donate, I think it's 200 bits, maybe even just 100, I can't remember. And it'll give you a random big meme. And so you get a little slot machine in there. You've played Nagash in 2K yesterday. Maybe he's not crazy, but you love how he's good, but not oppressively solid. 2 out of 3 wins in tournament. You think finally some mind was involved. Okay, Nezermore. It's good to hear. I just want them to, like, see viable play on the table. It doesn't have to be optimal, and probably it shouldn't be optimal. I just want them to be good. Lord Check, where's the so fucking big clip from? That's Scoo-chan. It's from a Scoo-chan cooking stream where I think she was talking about a stuffed animal or something. And if you want to know who Scoo-chan is and what her cooking streams are like, I'll tell you when you're older. It's SQU. Your shootcast did very well against giants, to be fair. You bring 2 units of Tempesters in it. Okay. Tempesters even. Is the Centaur dude that claims to have killed all the dragons good now in 4th? I don't know. I think a Gargant player played him in a tournament last weekend, and the Gargant player did pretty well. So it seems like he he was at least featured in a list that did well. He doesn't synergize with ogres in the way that he used to, so I'm less inclined to take him in ogres. But Beastclaw monsters are real bad, so if I wasn't against allies, I'd probably take him anyway. I don't know. I mean, having a 4-up save instead of 2-up is a huge downside, and he's not immune to magic anymore. But he got a 5-up ward now, which is cool, instead of a 6. Oh yeah, and his good profile degrades now, which is bullshit. I thought that monstrous monsters who were themselves monsters didn't degrade, because the Stormcast dragons don't degrade, and Marathi doesn't degrade, and so I thought it was just a thing that if you yourself are a monster, it's not like a mount, but it's you, it doesn't degrade, and then Kragnos degrades. What the fuck? Maybe I'm not. The Drac Cav is worth taking a look at. There's some big value there. The Dracoline? What kind of Drac? Oh, Dracoth, probably. The corgi looking ones. The corgi looking ones are always good, to my chagrin, because they look so stupid. But yeah, Fulminators have always been great. They seem good still. You can't compare yourself to Marathi. She's clearly Fey-Voward. Yeah, I suppose. Bobby Dracolini. You're loving the Dankhold Trogoth. Torrance. 6-inch move in combat is big and hilarious. Maybe Be'lakor. It made Be'lakor waste a counter charge yesterday. Nice. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing how people play the edition. I'm already... Even when I was 3 games in, I was already seeing people start to play differently. There's a lot of things to do here. A lot of like, how can I bait them into wasting their command here or there or whatever. What can I do to screw this BT over? Stuff like that. Kind of interesting. "20 blocks are the new hotness." Yeah. Reinforced units are sick. Reinforced infantry is kind of like what you do now. It's back. In 1st edition, massive regiments were the way to play, and in 4th edition, we're back to it. Reinforced infantry, sometimes reinforced cavalry. There's several cavalries in the game right now that are like buff sponge super good, right? So monsters kind of taking a back seat. I mean, they don't get slower when you damage monsters anymore, but 3-inch combat range essentially like almost triples the damage of every infantry and cav in the whole game, so that doesn't really compare. After playing Monstar Mash, Nurgle, the companion rule hitting on 4s hurts a lot more than you expected. Yeah, it's bullshit. It's weird. It's weird that like the monster type got a lot worse, and I don't think it needed the companion debuff to it. I don't think it needed that limiter. You know? That's weird. It's weird that they put that limiter in there for monsters. Like, think about the average monster. You give it +1 attacks with all of its weapons. That's like 2. Why does that need to be banned? You give a 12-man squad +1 attacks, and it gets 12 attacks. I think Companion is just left over from everyone thinking monsters were OP with buffs at the very start of 2nd edition. And there's no... It's like a legacy, deprecated kind of rule. There's no reason for it anymore. But consider the source. I play monsters, and monsters are shit right now. And my army is shit right now. So, you know, I would say that. Reinforced pink horrors, dumping an average of 10 mortals when they die in melee, only get it revived by LOC and do another 5. Yeah, I have no way of dealing with that. I can't stop that. I don't have any counterplay to that, I don't think. Besides running away from it the whole game. I would just die to that. Little dude riding on top can be the companion, please. Yeah, he's the least important boy, right? Legacy deprecated rule, aka counting up, no brackets, no gaining extra health. Yeah, you could do that. They could change the rule to tell you to do that. Because then counting down, you don't have to ask the person, how many wounds is that at full life again? You know, you don't have to ask that question if you're counting down, right? Which saves a little time. Giving worse control for wild units feels a lot better. I think that's fine. Yeah, beast keyword. The beast keyword is another keyword that's just a straight up really bad keyword, but I think it's for the most part been put on stuff that you're like, yeah, that makes sense, right? Like putting beast keyword on frost sabers. Yeah, that probably makes sense. They're good enough as it is, right? Counting up is not only the best way, it's the correct way. Yeah, that's how they tell you to do it. There should be a walking in Midwest video. Yeah, I'll do a Wisconsin one about maybe some state forest or state park or something like that. Beast being bad at OC is a good enough idea, but in return you want them to go fast. Yeah, I mean frost sabers do, but I can't speak to all different beast types, right? You're surprised after how good devastating wounds were in 40k, how they introduced crit mortal here and made it pretty common. Well, we've had crit mortal forever, they just codified it with a name, right? To their credit, when they said there were fewer crit mortals in the game, they were being truthful. Because fewer stuff than ever has the exact thing, 6s produce a mortal wound. Fewer stuff than ever does. But enough still does so that you play against all of it that exists because it's just really good. So the player experience might not seem like it. You're just choosing between fewer units that do so now. Ahem. Frost Sabers are one of the best units in Ogres. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I uploaded the video. I haven't published it yet. So after the stream, all I have to do is I gotta make a thumbnail for it. But after this stream is done, I'll make a thumbnail and then push a button, and then there'll be an hour-long HeyWoah YouTube video for people to watch if they give a shit, where I review the Ogre Maw Tribe's index and give feedback. I was really trying to give feedback, hopefully the GW looks at it. And I mentioned that Frost Sabers are the best unit in Beastclaw, because they are. Unironically. They're the only unit in Beastclaw Raiders that have a clear job and do it well for a good cost. Nobody else can claim, I don't think, even two of those things. Counting up, you still have to ask how many more does it have left, as opposed to seeing, oh, there's 7 left. Yeah, that's the upside to counting down, is nobody ever has to ask how many more wounds are left on somebody. That's the upside there. Crit mortals are normalized mortal wounds equals weapon damage, which has been a large buff for a lot of the units that cause them. Correct. Crit mortal is the objective upgrade of crit auto wound, which is kind of sad. I mean, every time I see crit auto wound, I am sad, yeah. Because we had crit mortals before we had crit auto wound. Crit auto wound is a sad intermediary that was invented much after crit mortal. And so it could have only been ever seen as a halfway point, and not even really halfway, just a lot worse. But yeah, I see crit auto wound and I'm sad. It's good. It's a good thing to have. Certainly better than nothing. And it scales with how shitty your wound rolls would have been, right? Like if you wound on 5s, then crit auto wound is a lot more valuable than if you wound on 2s, right? Percentage-wise, maybe it's not, but raw number it is. Yeah, we did lose crit 1 mortal in addition. I think that thing is gone now. Or I haven't seen it anywhere yet. Will you do a live on TTS with a Gutbusters list? Yeah, probably Big Naito. Yeah. Gutbusters side looks fun. It looks like a lot of fun. If I was trying to have fun in 4th edition, I would play Gutbusters. The problem is I don't own any, and I'm not trying to buy them when they're so clearly next in line for a refresh, right? There's so much Finecast in there. It's also old. It's just all from the old game. I ain't trying to buy in. Like, it's kind of like washing your car and expecting rain, you know? I'll chill. I'll chill. Make it look good, and then I'll maybe consider it. But I'm not trying to buy another army in any case. Armies are expensive. I'm a part-time streamer. We're not exactly rolling in it. You took 2 units with a flosh and they did all the chores while the rest of your army just went to go smack Cow Mountain and Teclis in the mouth. If you're wounding on 2s, crit auto wound feels terrible and you should really have crit 2 hits. Yeah, I think so too, in general. Monsters in general are bad at release of index, and you just happen to be the all monster list. Yeah, but also there's no mount traits either. And so it's like triple. Not having mount traits doesn't matter for most armies, but it matters a lot for me. So there's just a series of events that are all kind of swirling around, conspiring, you know. 3D print Ogre units that look nice to use in the meantime? No, those still cost money. And if I'm going to play an expensive luxury hobby game like a Games Workshop game that takes... You know, their prices are really high, but they really do go above and beyond to make those brand new sculpts really, really nice. And it seems like such a waste to just 3D print my own custom ones. It's like, why am I playing this game when I could be playing a different, cheaper game or something, you know? I don't know how to describe it, but... Yeah, if I feel the need to proxy an entire army, then I don't want to play that army. Maybe I'm not explaining myself well, but that's kind of how I feel about it. To compare to 40k, it has a place because it is often harder to wound and crit mortals is 6s to wound, not skipping the wound step. It feels like they stole from 40k's homework without understanding the assignment. Maybe. I mean, if their goal was to make something that was worse than crit mortals but better than nothing, then they succeeded, right? Would you consider playing Ale Guzzler if SB, what's SB? Would send you free army? No, in fact, I tell people not to send me stuff for free. There was a big question early on when I started streaming, and people were like, give us a P.O. box so we can send stuff to the streamer and he can open it. And I don't want people to send me a bunch of free stuff. I don't want to fill my house up with it. You guys need the money probably for yourselves. And so in general, I don't want people to... It's a nice thought, and I appreciate the thought. But, well, pink hair girl. Anyway. Yeah, I don't want people sending me a bunch of free stuff. It's nice, but... I don't know. Buy your mom something. Lebanon or I thanks for the tier 1. Appreciate it for 45 months. That's a long time. Thanks for liking my stuff. This man could have had so much free spices. Yeah, probably. Ahem. Word count trivia. I did a Ogre Maw Tribe's index review, constructive feedback edition that I just uploaded to YouTube, but I haven't clicked publish yet. How many words do you think it is? I just opened Microsoft Word right now, and it tells me how many words there are in the script for it in the bottom left-hand corner. The person who guesses correctly wins nothing. $12,500, kinda close. 1d3. $5,700, $3,562. I don't know when I'm gonna cut this off because it would be ridiculous if you guessed the exact number right. 10,000, pretty close, very close. 1,800. No, I was terse, and I kept a lid on it. I didn't go crazy with it. It's about an hour long, the video, if that helps anyone. Ozo gets extremely close. I'm going to call that one close enough to call. With 9175, Ozo gets, it was 9,087 words. And that's within a certain percentage. So Ozo gets is the winner of nothing. Tell him what he's won. Nothing. But, nice work. 1 million, pretty close. 48. Hey, I'm gonna get a DP cream real quick. And, I got a bunch of tier lists. Do you want to do tier lists? I might do some. One of them is Ogre Maw Tribe's units, because I would just finish the video, so now it's all in my head, and I could make a tier list out of that real quick. We got a few others, but I don't know if I want to do them. Maybe I just want to go on a walk and talk about Rifts and Age of Sigmar and stuff, you know? Regardless, I will do a unit tier list, I think, so. Or like, tier list, am I right? Not really, the Gutbuster side is good. I have almost only good things to say about it. It was generally positive, which is, I think, what might save the video, because for the most part, I'm pretty positive on the Gutbuster side. I'm just kind of negative on the Beastclaw side, right? It's important to tell them they do a good job when they do. And so I'm like, you know, great work on the Slaughtermaster, big ups, Butcher, you know. Gluttons, they might look boring on the War Scroll. And it is, yeah, it is a boring War Scroll. There's kind of nothing going on with it. But you know what's not boring? Doing 30 fucking damage. That's... after saves, doing 26 damage to somebody on a 4-up or whatever. That's not boring. So good work there. Sometimes it's about results. Enjoy some Bezos bucks. Oh, Fizz6 redeemed a meme ad so that I can go get a drink. Let's fucking go. Big content.
Twitch Pro.
Should I like show the unit? I should probably show the unit. I'm doing this kind of off the cuff. And you can just watch the video, right? I mean, I can't just say that. That's kind of rude, right? You ask me a question, then I'm like, go watch a video. I could just answer it. Maybe I should just answer it. Booty Hero. Thanks for the big prime. Appreciate it. 13 months. Lucky 13. Chillin' prepping to run your Rime of the Frost Maiden campaign tomorrow. Loving the chill vibes. Hey, thanks a lot, Smeda. 84. Thanks a lot. Sounds like a good one. I like me some TTRPGs. Anyway, B and or B. Please enjoy a commercial. And maybe we'll do a tier. I can talk about, so that once you finally watch the video, it'll just sound repetitive and I'll have ruined it.
Mr. Owl, How many licks does it take to get to
The cream.
Let's find out.
Let your fingers do the walking.
I'm Mr. Buckets. Toss your balls on my top. I'm Mr. Buckets.
What do you get when you press on a can of Noxema?
Great balls of comfort.
You get.
I can't believe I ate that whole thing.
Oh, where have I heard that before? Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in.
I'm calling paramedics and your family, Mr. Miller.
You can make this
Cream.
cheese sauce in seconds with American cheese and
Cream.
mushroom Lipton cup of soup. And you thought cup of soup just made soup.
Oh, yeah. Cream in the World Wrestling Federation.
Wait a minute,
and there is
More real meat. You'll be glad we made him taste better. And so will he.
I am not finished. Therefore, please enjoy some Big Klondike.
With Klondike ice
cream
bars, you get big servings, big taste, big
cream.
Imagine
5 big, moist, delicious ounces of big, hot ice
Cream.
and a coating made with
Beautiful.
Milk.
Chocolate.
so you can
Pour.
big
Cream.
Like I've never had it.
Klondike. Big bar, big
Cream.
Cream. You're just wondering why such the hard split between the lores to the point where if you're playing dad bods, there's no point for a priest. I mean, I don't know. It's really just it's like a philosophy thing. You could mix them a lot, or you could keep them separate, and there's good reasons for doing both that I probably should have touched in the video a little more. Here, let's go to DT. Yeah, I guess I have some thoughts on that, and it doesn't appear in the video, even though it probably should, about, okay, what happens right now is Gutbusters are kind of good at everything, and Beast Claw's thing that they do is exactly the same as Gutbusters. Both halves do the same thing, and Guts are just better at it in all the different ways. So, you know, well, you take Gutbuster stuff, and then Beast Claw just sucks, right? Now, if you keep them separate, but make them both good, then you kind of have two different armies you can play, and everybody's happy, right? In this miracle world, right? But if you allow them to intermingle so that, you can cast all your spells on both sides, you can cast all your, or you can pray for all your bonuses on both sides, and all the synergies work, right? If there's a lot of intermingling, it means that you might, the downside to that, is that you might end up with the Cities of Sigmar problem. Which is, when you can use anything with anything, then suddenly all of your choices boil down to just the single best one, for whatever role it is, right? Like, let's say Beast Claw got good, but they decided they should be anvils. And so, like, Gutbusters is the hammer side, and Beast Claw is the anvil side. Now, you have like 30 different units, and everyone's army is exactly the same. You have one hammer, which is a Gutbuster, and you have one anvil, which is a Beast Claw, and then you have heroes and chaff and stuff. And now you play one list from the entire army ever, and there isn't really much reason to do anything but use those things. But if both sides can't mix, but both sides are good, well, then you have two armies that the book can play. In, you know, conceivably, right? Which is probably better if you're trying to have a book like that. HeyWoah, you played against Fire Slayers, and they also got purely out-damaged. The corn damage is just running wild. That could be... I know that you played against Fire Slayers, and I think, I want to say Frank played against Fire Slayers as well. And you're both like, Fire Slayers are good, they just got smashed, that's all. Like, they're not bad, necessarily. Anyway, as always, the dice are S tier. Big fan of the... Well, they're A. They could be better. The dice are A tier hard carry. They're good. There's only one symbol, and it's a symbol for a 6, right? It has pips instead of numbers, which is worse, but good work. Fire Slayer is fun. I'm told yes, but I don't have first-hand information there. So, ahem. It's Corn's America now, yeah. They let us cheat, and then we got the big dam also, yeah. Should we have some background music that everyone's probably very sick of on the VODs? I see you. And I think you're probably right. However, I haven't had a chance to find another DMCA free song, so eat shit. Also, apologies. Big Wah ended up with only take the best issue. Yeah, that's why Big Wah was a bad idea. It was an even worse idea because Iron Jaws, Cruel Boys, and what were once known as Bone Splitters really were completely different armies. Beastclaw and Gutbusters are technically the same army, they're just two factions, with more of a hard line between them than normal. But the different orcs are like, shouldn't even be in the same book, right? Having Cruel Boys and Iron Jaws in the same book is as stupid as if Fire Slayers and KO were in the same book. If they don't do it for them, they shouldn't do it for orcs. It's racism or whatever. It's bullshit. Anyway, Iron Blaster, sub OK minus. Not good. So the tiers are S tier game wide, hard carry, B good, C OK, sub OK minus zone, not good, and trash. Iron Blaster is right now in not good. I don't see playing it for any reason. It's not trash, because I think there is a point cost that the Iron Blaster could be at to make it potentially playable. That number just doesn't start with a 2, and right now it's 240. This shit got a lot worse. Twice. It got a lot worse when they changed the rules in 3rd, and then it got a lot worse when its points went up. And in 4th edition, it got a lot worse. The scatter shot became worse, fewer attacks, less reliable damage. Its range got reduced by a lot. You can't snipe people anymore. The gruesome trophy rack doesn't add to it. It lost a rend from the subfaction. It got a lot worse. And then they priced it at 240, and just ain't no way. It's not good. Points could potentially save it, but damn, dude, even if it was like really cheap, like 150 or something, like crazy cheap, what does it do? It misses twice, and then you pass your turn. You know? It shoots twice on 4s. And if you take 2 of them, you can only give one of them all-out attack, right? So, yeah. Miss twice, move on, right? Yeah. The old dice were bigger. Yeah, but they were really bad. I didn't like them. They rolled weird, and they had a really high chance of, like, rolling off the table. And you couldn't roll, like, 20 of them at once. Like, they were big, which I guess is funny, but that was part of the Games Workshop era of we don't even pretend that these have a game use to them, like they're just paperweights, like the boingy dice or the ones that you can't read, like the Aidna Deepkin ones or something like that. Hey, anyone on YouTube? I see that there's an error. An error has popped up. Please let me know if we're still live over there. And also on Twitch, I guess. I'm getting like errors. Seems fine? Okay. Well, I will just ignore these errors then. It's like yellow. It's like yellow with an exclamation point, and it's like error. YouTube is not receiving enough video information to maintain a smooth stream. it says. So, I mean, yeah, it's not red, we're good. Okay, code yellow. It's still fine. The best dice you have rolled of theirs are the Votan ones. Then you use, oh, you use those for your KO army. Nice. No problem. All right, I'm gonna hit refresh. BRB 1 min. All right, I'm unsure if that did anything, but hey, welcome back. YouTube doesn't consider tier list to be enough video information. True. But I talk about the things, so I'm adding context. Would you like to add context? Next up, Frostward on Stonehorn. He's sub okay minus, I think. He's almost okay, but not quite. I don't think it's a monster that I would play in any other army, really. It's not tempting. 360 for a guy with 15 wounds and a 4-up save. Super random attacks. Yeah, it doesn't really do much. Capture 10 is really... Capture 10's the best part about him. My man captures 10. That's big. But he's like an alright combat monster that just kind of has random attacks that are generally low. You can spike high, but consistency is king, remember, right? He's okay. And, you know, technically he should probably cost less, but I don't want to be the army of cheap, bad monsters. You know, you have an opportunity to play that army if you want to play Sons of Behemoth with, like, only little guys or something, and that doesn't sound fun. Yeah, Frostward on Stonehorn, kind of okay. His Frost Spear ability sucks, but it sucked last edition. Nobody liked it when it was an artifact in second, and they put it on his War Scroll for some reason. His Overwhelming Charge only goes 2d6 instead of 3d6 now, which admittedly was nuts in 3. Right. Leaping 12 inches, like possibly even average, over chaff lines, landing somewhere, doing some bullshit. At 2d6 with his base size, typically you're just kind of piling him in again. You do it for the D3 mortals, I suppose. Anyway, sub okay minus. Kragnos, I don't know, I haven't played him. I haven't thought about him at all. I'm not trying to play Kragnos. The Great Mawpot is, I think, probably it's either A tier or B tier. It's good. I think A tier. Great Mawpot's good. Gives one wizard +1 power level. That's strong. Because your wizards are good. It has a once a game heal. People can kill it, but I don't know. After the first few battle rounds, they can kill it. And it's like fine. Still, probably no one's dying close enough to it to refill, but since your 2 wizards are a build around me, giving them an extra power level is just a good bonus. You guys have seen me. This thing is the Maw Pit. We'll pretend this is the Maw Pit. I don't have it prepared. You guys have seen me play with the Maw Pit a lot, and it's funny because it does a bunch of mortal wounds to random people, or mortal damage. It does 3d3 mortal damage every single my turn, your turn. That's cool. And eventually someone gets annoyed enough with it to come kill it, and then they do. All the Gutbuster players are playing with this one, so it's probably just better because it enhances your own power. But I like the Maw Pit. I think it's funny. It's worse, I think, probably, than the Maw Pot. But I think it's a funny one. Shout out to the Pit. It's weird that both of them are made for Gutbusters. You can only man the pit if you have a butcher keyword, so that's Gutbusters. And then over here you have to target a wizard. You know, priests get a bonus from power level 2, but you can't target a priest with it. You can explicitly only target a wizard, which is weird. The pit. Butcher. I need you guys to tell me something, alright? consider your own army. All the different armies you guys play. Consider your little wizard guys in them. Is Butcher S tier game-wide, or is he just like the best wizard in Ogres? Which one is it? He's really good, and I like him. I love what they've done with the place. An aura of run and charge, Holy 12. You don't have to roll for it. You don't have to spend a resource on it. You don't have to choose one guy. It's everybody. I think he's really good, and your spell lore is good. And you can take a sub-faction to get a +1 to cast. You can put him next to a gut pot and give him power level 2. I'm like prepared to call him S tier game-wide foot wizard. All for 140. I just didn't want to overstate things, but I think he's super good. Yeah, 140. Control 5 on a foot wizard? Yeah, true. He actually does control 5. I think he's S. I really like what they've done with the place. And you know what? Just to cut to the chase. Slaughtermaster right there. I think the Butcher is better than the Slaughtermaster. But they're both probably neck and neck up here. Maybe this, like an A+. I would consider Slaughtermaster probably an A+ or something like that, but he's super good. When I saw these 2 War Scrolls, I'm like, damn. Those 2 War Scrolls, what they did to them and what they used to look like. I wish they did that with all of the War Scrolls they redid for the whole game instead of just a select few of them. Ahem. Next best is maybe Slays the Darkness Gaunt Summoner with 2 casts and a sneaky powerful alpha drop trick. At 140, his is probably top 5 in the slot. Slaughtermaster's base is an advantage, you know, because it's super huge. Yeah. S tier rules, dog tier models. Yeah, these are unacceptably bad looking, right? They're so bad looking. Which is part of the reason why I'm not trying to buy Gutbusters. Like, look at this shit. No. You are James Workshop. Injection mold plastic. High prices. Your brand new models in Age of Sigmar are all fucking goated, actually. And the sprues are clean. You even design them in such a way to hide the mold lines along creases of stuff so I don't even have to deal with it. Like, they're so good. I'm not buying this right before they might get new stuff. I ain't. Gracier on foot can't be unbound if you get lucky, which is rando, but yeah, it's super good when it happens. Gracier is pretty nice. Next up we got Nobolars, and the problem with Noblars is that I would put them in A. I would put them right here in A+ tier. The problem is you can't play them unless you play a guy that I would put right here. That's the new way you build armies rears its ugly head. Noblars, you want to build an army with them always. But this guy costs 180 points and doesn't do anything. Pure tax man, but he's technically the leader of the faction, and this doesn't have the right keyword to be used without him. And so, yeah, 120 is pretty good for 20 guys. Just great chaff. However, once you have to pay 300 for it, 180 plus 120, it becomes less tempting. I've seen a lot of the first time someone plays Gutbusters, like in Discord and stuff, or the first tournament they go to or something like that, there's a Tyrant and some Noblars in there, and every tournament report I read is, next time I'm dropping him and dropping them and just putting more Gluttons in. It's not worth it. He sucks, and he's expensive. So I think that's probably just it. What does this guy do? He has some combat attacks and some armor. Not a wizard. His synergy buff is +3 control score, which sounds really good for Spearhead, but not at 2k. That's it. It's a tale as old as time. He's a foot hero that can't cast a spell, can't pray. Doesn't pass out any buff or synergy that matters. So he's categorically bad. And then he's 180, and the dudes that you build your whole army around because they're so great are 40 and 50 points cheaper. What even is the purpose of points? Yeah, and you can't do anything fun with him. You used to be able to kind of do something fun with him. It wasn't like great, but it was stupid and silly. You give him a funny artifact, and you give him a funny trait, and Kragnos can whip him 18 inches across the board and do 10 mortal wounds, and you could outfit him with a big name or whatever. All the fun is gone, but it wasn't replaced with anything at all. He's just bad. Doesn't do anything. Why is he 50 points more than every other foot hero? Because he has 8 wounds on a 4-up save and 5 attacks that hit on 4s or whatever, and then half of them have 3 damage and the other have 2 damage. Because of like mechanical stat things that don't actually matter is the reason. Because the algorithm they put the points into the game to spit out how much he should cost works really well, or even pretty well, for like cavalry and infantry and just stuff like that. But when it comes to things that have synergy, the points, whatever algorithm they use, doesn't consider how people play the game. So yeah, he's control 5 as well. Once again, pretty good in Spearhead. Most foot combat hero have the problem, to be fair. Yes, it's a problem with the game Age of Sigmar, and it's been a long-standing problem. First edition had this problem. First edition, second edition, third edition, and fourth edition all have the problem of the do-nothing foot hero that's, I guess, supposed to fight. Has always just been awful. And a lot of times expensive for some reason. So is the Ogre Spearhead box worth getting to get into the army? Hard to say. It depends. Leon Duval. If you like Spearhead and you're going to play it a lot, then absolutely. And Spearhead's cool. I like it. If you're specifically only buying things to build your way to 2k, then you won't be using the Mournfang. And you won't be using the Iron Blaster in there. You won't be using the Tyrant. You'll only basically use the Gluttons, that's it, in the box. So really, the answer to the question is it depends on what you'll be using it for. If you're trying to only make 2k armies, then no, save your money. You're buying too much in there that isn't worth anything right now. Unless it all changes. If you're trying to do a lot of Spearhead, then yeah, it's fun. It's a fun Spearhead. And if you're going to go halfways between both, then I don't know, soul searching maybe. Feels like the intended crappy foot hero is to have value as a source of control score, which is awkward when both objectives got smaller and attack ranges got bigger. Yeah, I don't know if they were intending that or not. If they were, that's silly. I don't know. It seems like they were intending crappy foot heroes to be required as a tax person. But I think that's like a bad idea. It's not fun. You know? It's not fun to take a guy that I don't want to take because I have to. I want to be excited to take someone up here. Like I'm excited to take these in a Gutbuster army. You don't have to twist my arm, you know? So I think the tax stuff, we got rid of a lot of the battle line tax. We should have gotten rid of the hero taxes as well. Find a better reason to get me to play these heroes, like make them fun or good. Same thing with the Frostlord on Thundertusk down here, this guy. He's got the one ability you kind of want in Beast Claw, but it's only once per game and he sucks. So it's like, I don't know. The degree to which having more battalions is punished makes the attacks even more... Yeah, it makes it feel worse, yeah. Let's do this guy. So, Thundertusk, Frostlord. Not good. The Thundertusk monster sucks. He's got Frost Spear attacks. Those are pretty good. 4 of them at 4s and 2s. His Rampage is okay against anvils and stuff. Sometimes. But it happens in a weird phase. And the once per game thing, I don't think it's like worth it. I don't think it's worth it on a guy who's kind of bad. He's not good. And Thundertusk's, every edition I say that Frost Wreath Ice is terrible now, and every edition they find new ways of making it worse. It's so bad. Frost Wreath Ice. It hardly exists at all. It's a breath weapon that they can't use in combat. That's fucked up. It's also got a really short range, and it's a single shot that hits on 4s. Are they just kind of like operant conditioning, like getting us used to never using it? Well, joke's on you. I haven't used Thundertusks for like 6 years. I'm very used to not playing them. I've become very efficient at it. I'd like to. I have 2 that I have painted up and converted and stuff. I'd like to put them on the table, but give me an excuse. Next up is Stonehorn Beast Riders. I think they're not good, but they're top of not good. I think they're the top of not good. The Stonehorn monster isn't a particularly good monster any longer. 290 feels like a lot for it. The Rampage sucks. But it captures 10. That's a lot. I'm going to say that a lot. I'm going to say this monster sucks. And it's super random. But at least it captures 10. Hey, alright. Next. Firebelly. I think C tier is the lowest you can possibly put a wizard this edition. I don't think you can get worse than that, really. This guy does not have the right keywords, and his war scroll is empty. And his, like, ability on his war scroll is terrible. It just does nothing. It's so bad. And, doesn't matter. Firebelly can cast all your spells. He can summon endless spells, and he can unbind. That's way better than a Tyrant who can do none of those things. So he's C tier, even though he's like gruesomely overshadowed by these other 2 amazing wizards. The fact that you can even cast spells at all puts you above everyone who doesn't, especially in this edition with these manifestations. Just came here to say that you refuse to take Noblars in your Ogre list, and you even acknowledge their existence. You don't even acknowledge their existence. Love your vids. Hey, thanks for liking my stuff. I can't say your name because it uses kind of English-looking letters, but I know they're not. And so it would be real embarrassing to try to. But thanks for liking my stuff. Noblars are really good in a Gutbuster army, tactically. Like, they're really strong. It's just now they're locked behind a Tyrant, so I don't think you take them. And, I don't know, I like big, huge stuff. I'm not playing the army to play little, tiny stuff. In general. Icefall Yeti. These guys, what makes them good? It's 120 points for 20 guys. 20 guys that you just put as a big line on the table, and they die, so your stuff behind it doesn't. It's a great job. It's a great job to do. It's awkward to take them because of how the Force Organization army building chart works right now, but it's a strong thing to have really good chaff. They're like good, the price is right. The problem is you have to take this guy and you don't want to, so suddenly now they're kind of 300 instead of 120. But in a vacuum, they're very good. Anyway, Icefall Yetis. These guys have a little bit of the corn rule These guys have a murder step. They got an electric slide. 3 inches. Opponent movement phase. They can 3-inch electric slide. And they can do so into combat. Yeah, the attacks is 2-step. They got their 2 hairy little Yeti thumbs through their belt loop, you know, and then they mosey right in there. Right now, you can still redeploy and do that. I just don't know what they're going to do with that. But you can play these and do that. You can do that thing. Now, Yetis have the good sense to instantly die when they enter combat, instead of be like really good and have the Tennessee 2-step, so. Here's a recent 5.0 list that ran Tyrant with Noblars and the Warcry Warband. Yes. I agree. I saw those. I would say like at least 30%, at least 1 in 3 of the Ogre lists that have recently done very well at the first tournament the person went to featured a Tyrant and Noblars, and then in their tournament report they're like, I'm not playing Tyrant next time. But a few of them might be. A few of them might still be. I just think it's kind of clearly not worth it, but maybe I'm just not seeing it how they see it. Anyway, so this guy can squiggle into combat and be very, very annoying. Purely as a speed bump, because they just die once they're in combat, as opposed to like Skull Reapers or a Bloodthirster that slides in. But I'm gonna put them in a special place. I'm gonna put them here. If the first FAQ goes through and you can still redeploy into slide, then Yetis are gonna go up somewhere into the real shit. Right now they're in eye sleep. But if it's okay to be doing what some people are like them that are doing, then they go up. We'll see. Waiting on it. Man crushers or man eaters are trash. They have the wrong keyword. They cost 50% more than Gluttons per model, and they're almost the same as Gluttons. I think they've always been bad on purpose to like not cause people to want to buy Finecast. I think it's actually they're doing us a favor. And they're so clearly on the way out that I guess it's okay that they're trash. I don't have a new picture of Gorgers, but I think they're good. Gorger Maw Pack, I think they're good. B tier. 260 is like, I think clearly way too expensive. However, depending on what job you have, if you do that job well, you can overpay for that job, but then once it's on the table, if it does that job, it does the job, you know? And I think right now Gorgers are that. 260 is too much, but they'll do what they're supposed to do. So I think it's worth it. I think they're B, perhaps even B+. Yeah, you can have a Frostlord with Noblars as well. And if we still had the old Frostlord, I think that would be really common, Liger 0. Because in the past, it was pretty common, I would say, to run a Frostlord in a Gutbuster list. They'd give the dude like a Splatter Cleaver or something, and he was like a fast anvil in your otherwise slow army of just only troops, and they kind of worked well together. I think it's funny to me how I see it, which is maybe wrong, but the way that I see it is Noblars are so good that Ogre players are playing actual garbage as like cope to try to trick themselves into thinking that, well, maybe this guy's kind of okay, I can find something for him to do, you know. Plus I need Noblars. It's really just because Noblars are that good. Noblars are so good that people are running this crap and wasting shitloads of points to do so. I think it's actually just a waste of points. But, anyway, I might be wrong. But that's how I see it. And perhaps Noblars should even go higher because they're convincing people to play garbage like this. Next is Iron Guts. I think they're... Where would I put Iron Guts? I think I have to put them in good. Good tier might as well be called the overpriced, but you play them anyway tier. These are both too expensive, but they work. Iron Guts are technically worse than Gluttons, and they do similar damage, I guess, unless it's really, really low saves. But that double pile-in on them really is enough, I think, to give them their own use or identity in the army. It's a super fragile bit, because you only get 4 of them, and they have a 5-up save now. That's rough. You're paying 240? 240 for 4 guys on a 5-up save? Yikes. They are not... I don't know why they're called Iron Guts. There's no iron in them. But I think they're worth playing anyway as a unit. A unit of 8 Iron Guts will like kill anything. And once a game you can hold the shoulder buttons for the X-ray move. I think they're good. Again, they're too expensive, but once you put them on the table, they'll do whatever job you want them to. And sometimes they accidentally do the job of dying right away, but whatever, that was your fault. They should be 220, I agree. Gorgers should be 220, Iron Guts should be... I would actually keep Iron Guts at 240 and put them at 5 wounds instead of 4. Just so the Iron Gut, like the iron is represented some way in the game. $240 for terrible defense is what is this? Most of KO this edition? Oh no. I don't know how KO is. I remember looking at the, hold on, 4th edition faction tier list. I put KO in the doesn't exactly spark joy tier, but I'm an outsider. Perhaps you play KO. After looking at the faction focus, I put him in doesn't exactly spark joy tier. Do you think that's fair or unfair? Maybe they're good, I just don't know. And I didn't look at their whole index yet. So... Sky Wardens are too expensive, okay. Mornfang and MSU are sub OK minus. The points on these guys is kind of out of control, as always. It's a ritual. It happens every time. It has to. The start of every edition, Mornfang are 200 points for 2. They're 100 points a model. They're never worth it. You can never put any synergy or buff on them from either side of your whole army. And then they go down 10 points every 3 months for the entire edition. And no one takes them ever. And then the new edition comes out. And they go back at 200 for 2. And we start the dance of the cosmos all over again. We have done this 4 times. In the past, they were taken because they were a forced choice as battle line. Now they aren't forced anymore. They got a better War Scroll, though. War Scroll's never looked better than it has here. It's weird that they can't take a horn or a banner unless they're reinforced. That's strange, still. They, yet again, managed to dodge every buff in the army that matters. You can't Blood Feast them. You can't Slaughtermaster +1 attacks them. You can't Huskguard Companion buff them, even though you used to be able to. You also used to be able to Blood Feast buff them. They don't capture well. Yeah, they've managed to dodge all the buffs once again. That's a rough one, kid. And they're way expensive. What they do well is they really bully 100 point battle tactic units. But they fucking should. They're 200 points. I don't know. They got lumping walls of flesh, which is kind of useful, I guess. Sometimes. And they have a really, really interesting, cool, fun job that they can't quite do. And that's like anti-cavalry interceptor. Where they don't, your on the charge bonus damage doesn't work against them, which I think is really cool and kind of fascinating. But once again, they're kind of too expensive and not quite all there. Buff Dodgers, yeah, that's them. You give them the bodyguard with anti-something on the charge. I mean, they have a cool ass ability, and now I think they came up with a good job for them. I just want to see them go the extra mile for it. They are able to get run and charge from the priest. That is true. But they don't benefit from, I think, anything else. Maybe the once a game Thundertusk thing, but I don't think you're taking that. The impact hit sub-faction is monster only. Huskguard buff is monster only. Blood Feast is infantry only. Slaughtermaster is Gutbuster only. They're Neo from the Matrix, absolutely dodging. A unit of 4 of them isn't quite enough to be like an actual hammer. They don't accomplish enough. And 2 of them is in an awkward space where they can't really fight against Cav, and they don't really do their job very well. Yeah, they're just... It's a cool idea. They went like 60% towards doing it. Sub OK minus is the best place that I've ever had Mournfang on this list. I've done this tier list of units, basically every edition. And I think sub OK minus is the highest Mournfang have ever appeared. So this is a win. This is how I win. This is what winning looks like. I think 4 are actually possibly even worse than 2. Because it's just good money after bad at that point, but I'll keep it here just for whatever. Gluttons. Hard carry. Hard carry, and I'm gonna wait for some more tournament things happening. But we might be in a conversation. We might be in a conversation of just infantry hammer unit game wide. I'm gonna put them at the top of A here. They don't do anything. They do one thing. But they do that one thing real good. No, it's not true. They do 2 things, and it's actually really interesting, I think. So what they do is, they're a glass cannon. But the cannon part of that is real shit. Like, they do grown man damage. They really do a shitload of damage. And they capture really high too. Glass cannon capturing, I don't think is a like a army theme that we've explored in AOS before. Maybe. Unless I'm mistaken. Like, glass cannon capturing is a weird mix. It's not like peanut butter and chocolate, you know? It's like pineapple on pizza or something. It sounds weird. But with enough damage, it works. And brother, they got that. I think it's cool. I think this is a very, like, it's a cool, interesting way to move Gutbusters in the future. Yeah, they're naturally anti-horde, pretty much, but they're anti-single target guys as well, just from weight of dice, really. Weight of bod. And if you need a can opener, these guys are right here. A little more risky, perhaps. Fruit on pizza? Sure, tomato. 3-inch range is helping them. 3-inch range causes them to exist at all. If these guys were 1-inch reach, literally not good. That's the difference. If these guys had a reach 1, they're not good. Instead, they're A+ game-wide. But that's every infantry and cavalry unit in the whole game right now. 3-inch range. I don't know if they didn't realize what they were doing or if they intended on it, but that's a big deal. You wouldn't call them a hammer, but God, they have so many wounds. To me, I would call them a hammer. I think they're a glass hammer. I would use your sentence in the same way, except replace hammer with anvil. Like, I wouldn't call them an anvil, because their armor sucks and they die pretty easy. But that's a lot of wounds. You know? I wouldn't call them durable necessarily, or an anvil necessarily. But they have a shitload of wounds. If you are relying on, like, proc mortals or something, or you're overpaying for high quality damage, their bodies are going to absorb that. They're good against mortal wounds, in other words. Because their armor was shit anyway. They don't care, you know? It's one of those kind of things. So they're, like, secretly good against technically the best hammers and stuff. They're deceptively almost not even not durable. The most hidden compliment ever. Yeah, there's 2 ways to give them an extra attack over as many as 12 different bodies, which is nuts. And they capture 3 per after you use your thing. They capture, what, 37? 40 with the spell? It's a big capture. Anyway. We got the scrap launcher, which is better than the Iron Blaster. Technically, the scrap launcher is the best shooting unit in the whole book. It kind of sucks for 2 reasons, but it is technically the best shooting unit in the book, I think. It's got the wrong keywords, but it can sometimes give somebody -1 to hit. You just have to actually slay models with it, which is sort of a challenge. Nobody wants this thing to be good. We're kind of praying that it never does, but they could. They could make it good eventually, which is very sad. Frost Saber is legitimately great. The best Beast Claw War Scroll in the book, or in the index. The best. I think they're possibly, are they even better than Iron Guts? Maybe. Frost Sabers are so good. Move 9. Not visible when near terrain. Not just for shooting, but not visible near terrain. 70 points. I'll take 2. Good price. Clear, distinct job. Do it well. Yeah, they're a beast. Who cares? Move 9, baby. Let's go. They can accomplish the BTs. These fucking idiots, for 140 points, give me 4 victory points a game. Sorry, 8 victory points a game. That's good. This fucking guy, not good. He's worse than Tyrant because you would never actually play him. He's worse than this because you would never actually play him. He's worse than... I don't know if he's worse than that or not. He's technically free. He's like just about... this guy is supposed to be a monster hunter. He doesn't hunt monsters, really. He's not a wizard, not a priest. Can't do any synergies or buffs. Therefore, he has no reason to exist, really. He can move on the enemy movement. That's really good. But not really for him. He's not a drop because... you get him as a free drop if you take a Tyrant, which I don't think you want to, but some people do. Yeah. He's the classic, like, not wizard hero. And he's 170, and these are 140 and 130. This guy's 170. Nope. This guy no longer exists. Icebrow Hunter. He deserves to be in trash, but I'm going to put him in not good. Because you can technically accomplish some battle tactics with him. However, these guys do his job better, so you just wouldn't, but technically you could. He has anti-monster on every single one of his weapons. He has 2 different ranged weapons that both have anti-monster rend 1. And he has a melee weapon that has anti-monster rend 1, which I consider to be a good joke. I don't know why he's not a priest. It's kind of silly that he's not a priest. Guy should probably be a priest. He might have a reason to live. Can you announce the name of the unit you're talking about before you talk about it? Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, Icebrow Hunter. He's trash. Next up is Thundertusk Beast Riders. They are trash. I put them in trash because they are on the end point of the race to the bottom, and it's the start of the edition. They're 240 for a monster with 15 wounds. Or 14. Yeah, this is like a the exact thing that I never want my faction to be, which is really inexpensive monsters that suck at literally everything, but they just capture 10, I guess. Very sad. They suck. The rampage sucks. The monster has 3 attacks total that hit on 4s and have rend 1, so they just do no damage. Frostwreath Ice has only a 12-inch range now. They can't shoot in combat, even though it's a breath weapon. It has 1 attack that hits on 4s. I don't think I've hit with it in my life. You can't run and shoot. You can't shoot in combat. You can't shoot if you're dead. Thundertusks are trash. Huskguard on Thundertusk is probably in not good tier. I mean, he kind of is trash, but I'll put him in not good because he could be a priest. His rampage sucks. He is technically a priest, I guess. The Thundertusk monster sucks. And there you go. If you're taking the make this unit a priest trait, is priest 1 or reroll 1s on an existing priest better? You mean, what's better, +1 power level or reroll? It depends on if your unlimited prayer is better than a specific prayer, I think. Because if your unlimited prayer is better, then you want power level. And if your specific prayer is better, then you want reroll. And for me, our specific prayer is better, which is the run and charge one. So in specifically Beastclaw, you want the reroll instead of the power level. Because our unlimited prayer is real bad. And we just want to get the run and charge one. But if your unlimited prayer is good, then you probably want power level, because you always want to be doing it. So, I think it depends. Huskguard on Stonehorn. I think he's the best one. Now. I think he's the best one. This guy. At the very top of sub OK minus. The Stonehorn monster kind of blows now, but he's a priest and he has one buff. They gave us a buff. It works on monsters, and specifically their companion attacks. Proc an extra hit on 6s, which is roughly equivalent to +1 to hit. This is a good buff. It works on a 3-up. Targets enemy monsters. Just kind of whatever. But it targets all the guys in combat range of him. Which sometimes there are one, you know. Lead Belchers, I'm putting them in trash as a protest. Because I bet people play one unit of these. I bet people play one unit of lead belchers as pure chaff. I just philosophically disagree that 10-foot tall ogres holding broadside cannons from a pirate ship should have the job of chaff. I disagree. That's bullshit. They didn't change this war scroll at all, sadly. It was bad before, it's bad now. Yeah, ogres is the army where the pistols deal a D3 and the cannons deal 1. It's opposite land. And then the rest of the stuff doesn't exist anymore or isn't, or is outside of the factions. Here we go. Lead belchers are really not worth it. I think the way that they're worth it is if your points end up in a weird amount where you can't buy anything else. I could see 1 unit of lead belchers in that case. Like if it just worked out that you couldn't actually spend the points in any other way, then you take a unit of lead belchers, but that's it. And so for the person who's driving, Yetis are an FAQ tier right now. If it turns out their really annoying trick is intended and legal, then you might actually play a whole bunch of them, and it's the best way to play the army. Boy, would that suck. Then in F tier is Lead Belcher, Thunder Tusk Beast Riders, and Man Eaters. In not good tier is Stonehorn Beast Riders, Tyrant, Icebrow Hunter, Thunder Tusk, Frost Lord, Huskguard on Thunder Tusk, Bloodbelt Hunter, Iron Blaster. And then in sub OK minus tier, which is like E, Huskguard on Stonehorn, Frostlord on Stonehorn, both types of Mournfang, although I think 2s are better, just because you're spending fewer points total on Mournfang, and the Scrap Launcher, sadly. In C tier, which is okay, is Firebelly, because he's a wizard, and that's useful. And then in B tier, which is good, I have Gorgers, Frost Sabers, and Iron Guts. In A tier hard carry, we have Gluttons, of course, and Noblars, which is a bit of a shame you have to take a Tyrant to play Noblars, otherwise absolutely no one would, because Tyrant is trash. But you're conned into it. And then the terrain features and the dice, and then an S tier game-wide, Butcher in that order, then Slaughtermaster. Slaughtermaster is worse than Butcher, but it's not a competition. You take both, and you're very happy about it. Guts is cool and good and fun. Really, this is justice for them, because they sucked for like 6 years, and so they deserve it. I'm looking forward to them doing the War Scroll rewrites, and I can't wait for the index to come out for Beastclaw, though, someday. Anyway. You'd rather retool the list for Sabers? I'd rather just not play a Tyrant or a Frostlord, but maybe I'm irrationally against playing tax guys that I don't think are very good. So perhaps that's getting in the way of things. I just don't want to play a guy that sucks. Because I have to play some other thing. I don't like that. And so I'm recalcitrant against it or something, I guess. Do Ogres want to get the 50 point under first round command point? Nah. Doesn't matter. If it means like materially reducing the strength of your list, then no. It's not worth. Because you're kind of building an efficiency machine. And it's not worth losing that. Unless it's by chance and you end up not being able to take anything else. You've been playing 50 under to get the extra command to auto 6 Sabers first round on certain battle plans. I have found a good use for the command point on my turn 1s for sure. But I wouldn't do it on purpose. Like I wouldn't take something I wasn't going to already. But if I get one, I can find some good uses for it for sure, you know. It's kind how I feel about it is, I can find uses for suboptimal choices. I just don't really like them on purpose, I guess. The Maw Pit has the biggest glow up. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else has even tried that thing. I look around, everybody's taking the Maw Pot, probably because they own it. Probably because it's good with butchers and slaughtermasters, right? I don't see anybody else trying that thing. This might be like, I'm too Beast Claw pilled, and so that I think something like Maw Pit is good, but they're like, you don't understand, like, we're Gutbusters, we're actually we're good for real. Not just like kind of neat, like we're good for real. So maybe it's that, I'm not sure. I like the Pizza Pit, I think it's funny. I've been having a lot of fun with the Pizza Pit. It's been an all-star standout unit in my army. Every game it way overperforms. But maybe that's just relatively speaking, I'm not sure. Absolutely claw-pilled, yeah. I can't wait to get some Gutbusters on the table, though. They look really fun. It looks fun to do a lot of damage and be a bunch of big dudes just running around. I'll probably get myself killed a few times, you know. It's not, like, easy, right? Surely. I'm so used to playing risk-reward, all-in, tempo, kind of sacrificial, all this stuff, and I'm so used to playing this weird type of army that Gutbusters is going to be a big change of pace. It's like, no, you got heroes and you got units, and, you know, this is just how you play AOS normally. And I'm like, I've never played AOS normally. I only play the weirdos that play the game differently than everyone else. So it'll be interesting, I think. The Grombrindral book made you respect BCR a lot and think about making mixed ogres. I haven't read the book. Should I pick it up? Would you recommend it? Are you playing Gutbusters? No, but I will on stream once or twice on TTS. Just to mix it up. Zach Maples, thanks for the 3-month. Sorcerer Supreme on YouTube. I appreciate it. Monster Trucks to Monster Truckers, yeah. Thanks for the YouTube membership. I appreciate it. Any terrain piece that shits out mortal wounds for free is huge. I think so too. I like it. And the die can't fail as long as the enemy unit has no other enemies around him. So if the enemy unit is alone, you can't fail at the 2-up thing. And the fact that the 2-up thing fails constantly is what makes so many abilities in 4th edition really disappointing. They put that everywhere. It's not just destruction, right? It's like, alright, roll a D3 on a 2-up, something happens. That shit fails so much. I've played like, I could not have played more than 7 games of 4th edition. I'm already sick of the roll a D3 on a 2-up, something happens. I'm sick of it. In my typing away, when I'm typing up my 4th edition initial thoughts, I'm going to be like, I read on a 2-up of a D3, just do the mortal wounds, and I said out loud the first time I read it, oh, this is going to save time. You only have to roll the dice once instead of twice. And so they're thinking about resolving things during play and how can we streamline this and speed up the table play and things like that. That's what I said when I read it once. And then I entered my first game of 4th edition ever. And I charged someone. I'm like, all right, I'm about to do my impact hits. And I rolled a D6 and the D6 came up a 2. I'm like, oh, it does nothing. Oh. Wait a minute. This shit sucks. This sucks. My impact hits do nothing. 0. Not like rolled low. It's like nothing. And then my once per game ability, I have to roll that. And so I used my once per game ability, and it did nothing. I'm like, oh, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And then I cast Pulverizing Hailstorm with 10 points saved up. And I succeeded at the prayer. And then I immediately had to, after succeeding at the prayer roll, I had to roll a D3 to see if it did anything, and it didn't. And I lost all my prayer points because it succeeded even though it did nothing. I'm like, I hate it. I don't like this thing at all. What was the book? Grom Brindle, I think, says, according to Leon Duvall. Once per game, do nothing, and you forgot to use it every time, too. Not every time. Just every game after the third game. I used it at least the first 2 games, I think. And then I stopped remembering it. Because I only remember things that do something. It's my mistake. It's really my mistake. If you have a way to add 1 to the roll, it's massive. If you have a way to get +1 to the roll, it's tragic. Yeah. The ogres in the last story are pretty well written too. Dude, I could listen to an audiobook. Go on a hike or something. Get on the Nordic track, you know. It's weird that we've adopted the D3. Because I don't like that. I don't like rolling a D6 and looking at it and being like, wait, okay, that's a 2, but that doesn't, a 2 isn't a 2. A 2 is a 1. I have D3s in real life where it's like a D6, but it just has 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 written on it. It's a lot easier to resolve in real life. I wish I could get a custom die in TTS that's like yellow or something, and it just has 2 3s, 2 2s, and 2 1s on it. Just so the number is not a lie. Yeah, the D3 2-up doubled the chance of nothing happening from a D6 2-up, yeah. There was a bunch of D6 on a 2-ups, but on a 1 nothing happened, and now it's a 33%, which is a lot more feel bad. I have it in real life. I just want to find one in TT. I'm sure I could just type that in. I'm sure there's somebody that has it. I'll find it.
Good job, King.
Oh, Wazorian, thanks for the tier 1. Appreciate it for 47 months. Good evening to Texas. TYVM, I appreciate it. What's the next painting project? You'd rather play a bad unit or army that feels good than a good one that feels bad? Yeah, Seption, I mentioned that. Beastclaw Raiders have sucked before. That's no big deal. Beastclaw Raiders have been really bad sometimes. Whatever. Back when monsters could only capture 1, the army really sucked. Couldn't win a game to save your life, basically. But it was fun. You know, I'll take it. I think it's really special when you can find an army or maybe even a game that you can lose but still enjoy. Because that's very hard to design something like that on purpose, but when you luck your way into it, that's really cool. So there's that. That's not the case. No, they're bad and not fun at the moment. You're currently painting Archeon with oils. Oh, he's an oiler. Still have to wait for another day or two before you can paint the next layer. Yeah, oil takes forever to dry, that's for sure. But it's kind of neat because you get to have built-in breaks on purpose. Maybe it's annoying because you just want to finish it, but still. Mr. Van Gogh over here. You started painting with oils. Bob Ross is your muse. Oh, there he is. Hey, if it feels good, do it, right? Be right back. I think it's time. I don't want to overuse this music, really. Go back to a walk, shall we?
Right now,
You could be savoring the rich, creamy flavor of angel food ice cream. It's the extra cream in angel food that blends all of your favorite flavors so they're always smooth and creamy. Never pointy. How about some rich and creamy angel food ice cream right now?
It's the extra cream in angel food. You keep hearing ogres turned out to be good after all. Is that the truth? Yes. Gutbusters are good. They looked good right away. The index for them looked good. And their initial results, initial results, it's still early, people are learning and stuff, seem to be good, man. Gutbusters fun and good. Beastclaw half, hot garbage, and really not fun. They got a new Sylvaneth style, like, endless prayer thing that's not fun. All their guys kind of suck. Yeah, just the dumps. Actual F tier. F for not fun, I guess. But guts are super cool. The rule is still in place. Only one half can be good at once. It's illegal otherwise. And it's just like our turn to suck. All right. You can't believe BCR battle formation is +1 damage and not +1 to roll. Yeah. The Tyrant's ability on his War Scroll is +1 to the roll, so his can't fail, I think. And the once per game Thundertusk Frostlord thing is +1 to the roll, but the subfaction is not +1 to the roll. That's stupid. You're painting the anniversary model of Grombrindal from the 500th White Dwarf magazine right now, using a lot of enamel metallics. Cool. I thought that guy was just like a Santa Claus store promo thing, but apparently he's like a real character. He's not like a joke character. So maybe I need to look into it. Out of OBR, Ogres, Behemoth, and Fireslayers, which would you recommend to somebody who wants to escape from KO and doesn't have the most experience? You will get experience. You gotta give, it's like a fish in a fish tank. Or maybe a lizard in an aquarium. You gotta give yourself room to grow. I think the worst thing to do is take something that's so simple that you hit the skill ceiling really quick, and then you're just playing like Hungry Hungry Hippos or something, and you'd rather be playing chess eventually, you know? I don't think AOS is like that crazy complicated of a game necessarily where you should be, you know, concerned about, ooh, this is going to be too hard or whatever. I think it's fine. You'll learn. After 5 games, you'll be pretty comfortable with an army, I think. I've heard that Fireslayers are fun, just very slow. So if you're not cool with being slow, then, you know. I don't know if Behemoth are good or not. I think they are. Behemoth's fun. Gutbusters are super fun right now in Ogres. I've heard OBR is boring, but I haven't heard whether they're good or not. And maybe I've just been listening to OBR players who are annoyed at stuff, which isn't necessarily wrong. Any OBR players? Come to the defense of your army here. You know, go ahead and speak up in chat if you play any of these. The White Dwarf actually appeared in lore. Okay. You always recommend OBR because they're the coolest and the best. An opinion that is exactly nothing to do with how they play on the day. Well, fair enough, yeah. OBR sitting pretty at exactly 50% results at the moment. Perfectly balanced. Behemoth looks like 3 megas and 3 smalls at the moment. Yes. OBR is good from a stat perspective, but yeah, it's basically just Stay wholly within 12 of your heroes and move at them. Yeah, move at the guys. So far, you are only an OBR painter, not an actual player. That should hopefully change soon. Alright. Do you see a place for herds at all, keeping in mind prodders return squigs and rally return prodders? Oh, squig herds, player 1. This is going to be second-hand information. Doesn't look like squig herds are the thing to play right now. If we're just talking about... I don't know. It's hard to differentiate from what they used to do to what they do now, but they just lost, they lost so much. You can wind up with 2k of OBR with 2 of the spearheads and catacrows. Interesting. And an absolutely massive terrain feature as well. They hit like a train, very strong war scrolls balanced by also high point cost. They fight great with strong base stats plus hella buffs and debuffs. But they're slow and they cluster, and they're expensive. So low model wound count and they can't spread out and stuff, yeah. Turns games into a question of how many points the opponent can score before you smash them and whether there's time afterwards so you can, like, hoof it to the edges. Yeah, I bet that sounds right. You've played exactly 21 games of all versions of AOS, and you have 7 2K armies painted. You're a hobbyist. You're a hobbyer. That's normal for hobby people. Some people are just trying to paint stuff, and if they get to play a game, alright. A few games here and there for an addition. Don't combine spearheads with catacrows. Nice models, sure, but annoying and anti-fluffy, anti-synergy between Mortek Guard and catacrows. Okay. He wants to run with a Mortis Guard, which does work great. He Knights 6k worth, Ogres 4k, STD 4k, Nighthaunt 3k, Doc 4k. Hey, you got some good armies in 4th edition. Look at this, with Soren, look at this, win at all costs army collector. Hedon Knights are good, even though their battle trait sucks, they're still good. Ogres are good, Slaves are good, and Nighthaunt are like the best army. Doc's pretty good too. This guy only collects the best army, doesn't even play. You were excited for the addition, but the War Scroll on your 3 Manglers deflated that somewhat. Yeah, the Mangler squigs did not look good. They don't do anything. They're like random movement, no damage, bad defense. What are they for? What are they supposed to do? You know, a monster can only do a certain amount of things, right? It can move around, it can fight stuff, and it can be attacked. Perhaps it has a buff or a synergy or a spell or something, but yeah, you can only do so many things as a monster. And as far as moving, not dying, and killing, it can't do any of those, really. You know, I don't know what it's for. My sympathies. It sucks when monsters suck. What makes Hedon Knights good? Supposedly their War Scrolls are just really good. They're coasting along on the power of their War Scrolls. And the points are pretty decent. So even though their battle trait sucks, and you can only use one of them, because if you use 2, you lose the game, that's good enough, because their War Scrolls are just good, and their spells and stuff. That's what word on the street is, anyway. If you didn't hate the look of the actual elf bodies inside of Sylvaneth, you'd like their rules. The sheer amount of healing seems funny. Yeah, maybe I'm different than other people, but when I look at Spite Revenants and Tree Revenants, I don't like the glowy elf body with root stuff. I guess I don't like the models. I don't like the half and half. I'm not against the glowing elven spirits in wood power armor. I just think it should look better than that. I'm just kind of not a fan of how it ended up looking, I guess. There's no accounting for taste, really. Did you plan on going through more of the packs for the new ratings of the hype tier list? Yes, Archer DT. And also, tonight. Oh, there he is, ATP Bigot. Damn. Papa Johnson. Yeah, I planned on going over another index. Basically, like, if I'm ever streaming and I'm like, oh shit, it's been 2 hours and we don't have anything to do, I'm just going to go over another index. Because we got to learn everything about every army. You know? And so, if it ever slows down, I wanted to kind of go on a walk a little bit here too, but eventually we'll go through all the indexes. I want to kind of know about all of them. At least from, you know, surface level, I suppose, right? And then each time I'll just choose the one that nobody knows anything about, or maybe that I know the least about. I looked at cities, I looked at cities dock, Gargants, Giats, Eidnet Deepkin, Korn, Ogres, Sylvaneth, half of it. And then I think I had to stop for some reason. Slaves to Darkness. And Iron Jaws, but not Cruel Boys. KO Index, if you want to be sad. You know, I don't want to be sad. I want it to be good. I want everybody to be good. But I could have some shared suffering, right? Because my half of my book sucks. What if the real Age of Sigmar was the friends we made along the way? That'd be weird. Because Age of Sigmar is a game, and people are like creatures, you know, biological. That's weird. Wouldn't mind painting a T. Zangor army. If you want to be happy, you look at Death. None of the faction packs look bad. FEC not doing great in the standings right now, but attribute that to lower skill floor, not ceiling. I think I agree on FEC. The important part is FEC mechanically looks fun, I think. You can be bad, and then they can fix you. But if you're, like, actually not fun, it's a death sentence. Like, for instance, Fire Slayers, all my mods are all in the lab right now, too. Like, they're playing a bunch of games and testing just how I am, just how many of you are. I don't think anyone's lost to Fire Slayers yet. I think all of them have beat Fire Slayers handily. But they all say, Fire Slayers is really good and really fun. I just beat it.
Oh, big.
That's what they all say. Oh, big. Thanks for the 629 bits, Ortirius. Have we considered the soup hold the AOS tier list? The what? Age of Sigmar, like, soup armies tier list? Can we pull them in from long ago? Because Cities of Sigmar, like, Order Soup was prime Johnny creation thing. Tail end of first edition. You could build some goofy ass shit in there. Are Cruel Boys bad right now? Statistically, yes. In reality, no. No. So, everybody says the Cruel Boys are actually really good. However, in 4th edition, we've had like 3 tournaments in the world, and Cruel Boys have gotten crushed in those 3. But I think it's just too early. Copium, maybe, but Cruel Boys looks really good. It looks really good. So if they keep losing and it's 3 months into the edition and they're at like 20% win, it will be harder for me to claim that that they're really good. I think they are, though. I don't know. I need to see. We'll see if it's copium. You can't win with just damage. Remember that. And they are a... what's the word for it? Not thankless, but, like, if you screw up, you just hugely lose, I think. One of those kind of things. Fire Slayers are slow, and if caught in the wrong situation, they also kind of die easily. Yeah, they're not... People, like, think of anvils for Fire Slayers, mostly because of the olden days. They're not fragile by any means, but they're killable now. Punishing, I guess. Yeah, Saint Tiki. Maybe punishing. Unforgiving. That is the word I was looking for. Both of you. Unforgiving. Monster Hunters spam Resident Sleeper. Kazut Grim. Good old Resident Sleeper. From playing Gargants. They're a no-touch me army. If you're trying to melee, good luck, but heavy concentrated ranged fire kind of melts them. Playing Fire Slayers is unforgiving? No, playing Cruel Boys is unforgiving. If you are playing Cruel Boys, it is an unforgiving army to you. I think that's what people are saying. High learning curve. My anvil is made of anvils, and my hammer is also an anvil. Nurgle Stormcast. Maybe slaves. You do fold the mortals, though. Do you count as an anvil if mortal wounds can kill you? I guess mortal wounds kills everybody. But you'll play Cruel Boys on stream with WoW to disprove the naysayers whenever. I would like to play against Cruel Boys. Not because I'm trying to prove something. I just want to play against every army in the game. Because I want to see how everybody plays. I'm interested too, you know. You can already feel the nerf incoming. With Night Haunt, on the topic of Night Haunt, you know how you're at the beach and the tide, you got the waves coming in, and then it does that pull, right? And all the water kind of recedes for the wave. That's what's happening right now for the Night Haunt adjustments on the way. You went 2-1 against Gargants. Your 2 wins were with Shootcast. Your loss was rough with the infantry list. Night Hunt is at high tide. I don't think it's a reason like not to buy the army or anything. Like if it's going to be fun and cool, go ahead. Unless you're trying to like, I don't know, win tournaments and stuff. Yeah, Gotrek still isn't Fire Slayer's keyworded. It's because of the books and the stories and the lore or something like that, but I just think, why? He's got a mohawk and he's a dwarf. Write the story so that he's in the army. I don't get it. Make him the king Put a little crown on him. Make him the king of the Fire Slayers. What's the big deal? And just type words, bro. You are in charge. Just make it up. Have him be in there. Gotrek actively hates the Fire Slayers. He does. Yeah, that's true. But just type it. Just let it, it's a game, right? Just let him do it. He has the biggest chunk of the god in him. Yeah, he does. Rock Lee dropping the training weights energy. Yeah, he is sold in the Fire Slayer's army spot on the website. That's true. You play very badly. For all you went 5-3 in your last tournament with Nighthaunt when they were broken, not knowing they were broken. He is a Slayer cult, not a Fire Slayer. Right, that's true. Just change the lore. Vorthos Rage, lol. Look. I actually don't think you should change the lore even if it kinda sucks. Unless it really sucks. But just write a good story.
Big.
Warbear, thanks for the big 500 bits. Appreciate it. I think it is important to respect, like, how the story was and, moves along, but if it sucks, change it. I don't know. You just got to do a good job, though. If you do a shitty job, then you look bad twice. Because you changed something, which you shouldn't do in a vacuum, and you suck, which you shouldn't do in a vacuum. But if you do a good job, then fine, Feel like you could just give a rule to say he's able to use the Fire Slayer army rules since he has a rune. You could allow it if you really wanted to. If the lore is holding a faction back, it should change, like not retcons, but let the faction and character realize they're holding themselves. Yeah, like, I don't know that you need to go back in time and change something like a retcon. You just write the story, Like the hobbits are bringing the ring to Mount Doom. And you're like, damn, they should have, like, you were like midway through one of the books. Let's say you're not even done writing the last one. Like, damn, they should like dunk that ring in the mountain. And so you write it so that they do, right? You don't go back and say it wasn't so-and-so, it was actually the other guy, I guess that's the difference. Because right now we're in a cool spot with Age of Sigmar, actually, aren't we? Because the story's like moving forward, which is kind of neat. Every edition they put out a bunch of books and there's big campaign supplements and this is happening and that's happening and this guy's dead and this guy came back to life and here's a new guy. Hey, I've been here for 10,000 years. Wink. Like, okay. I don't know. It's neat that the story can move forward. And so you don't have to retcon anything. You just write new stuff. And the new stuff is the current stuff. And so that's the thing that takes precedence. You don't have to go back in time and be like, actually, he's always loved them. And whenever he pretended that he didn't like them before, all that stuff was just an act or a lie. You don't have to go back. It's just like he likes them now. Easy. Long-standing problems with dwarves. Every other faction defined by what they're good at or what they have, but Warhammer dwarves have instead always been mostly defined by what they don't have. You mean like game mechanically, like they are slow instead of fast? This is in 40k. We can explore army evolution in interesting ways. Yeah. That's part of the bonus of being so young. And we're not really young. We're almost a decade old now as a game. But it's no 40-year history, right? We haven't had enough time for people to become autistically obsessed with every pointless detail of it. And that's a really good thing. And so we can freely just kind of move the story forward, whatever, and almost no one's really mad. We had a little bit of lore in the Discord. I saved a picture or two. I did it. We had some lore discussion happening with screenshots of pages. That shit was kind of nice. Everybody shits on AOS books and stuff. But that thing was kind of cool. I'm going to put it in the next video. I'm going to narrate it. Be like, AOS is good? What? The story is kind of good, though. Here, HeyWoah also streams on Twitch. Well, Mondays and Fridays, yeah. Anyway, thanks for showing up. You hope KO gets Spell in the Bottle back with their old tome. Who here has no wizards in their army? How you feeling? I know that it doesn't count if you have priests that have invocations, because that's at least something. Is there an army in the game that has no wizards and no priests that don't have invocations? I mean, is there an army that essentially can't access manifestations is my real question. I believe it's KO. And Beastclaw Raiders if you don't want to take a wizard. Who does nothing for your army at all. Like, all of the abilities on it are keyword locked. Gargants? You can get the artifact that does it. In Gargants. What's it called? Glowy Lantern will do that. But it's close. Your Dock army has no wizards except Morathi, but you don't want to take a god to a battle? I don't know. I mean, take a god to a knife fight. KO can bring the Stormcast Regiment? Doesn't count. Allies don't count. You know, doesn't count. I'm talking about in the army. It is slightly disgusting to have to ally something in. IMO, the generic manifestations should be summonable by priests also, to punishing to non-caster factions to not have access. I think I agree. I mean, does KO have any priests, though? I don't think they do. Wait. Do KO have any priests? I don't think they do. Doc has the blood. Oh, yeah, true. It does have some of their own. KO has neither priests nor wizards. They only have guns. And they used to have Spell in the Bottle for the Alchemist, which was a most commonly used with that, the rat chew toy. That thing was kind of sick. They can shoot. You know, they got gun. Funny that they decide that they picked the free Endless Spell Edition to delete Spell in a Bottle.
Which part?
Imagine that. Oh, it's me, Jupes. Thanks for the Prime. 32 months. Thanks a lot. It's almost 36 months. Pretty close. Thanks for the big primer. KO are in a bad way this edition so far. I mean, they can't interact with manifestations at all. It's the edition where they have explicitly said shooting has to suck. Doesn't sound good. And every single book or edition, they change entirely how getting into and out of the ships work. They kind of start over from the drawing board every single time. Because it's either broken unusable or broken overpowered. Kind of flips back and forth like a light switch. They can shoot them, that's true. They can shoot them. And a lot of those endless spells are real weak, right? A bunch of them are like 5 wounds, 6 up, armor. Pretty shootable. Give the poor brass beards a technomancer. Dude, technomancer, that card has cool ass art on it. Whatever shoots your magic. You gonna burn your good shooting on a spell I summoned last turn? I certainly don't want to, because every moment I'm shooting something that isn't you, I'm literally wasting my time. You can even resummon it on my turn. It doesn't feel good. I've had to, like, attack those things because I was forced into a position where I had to attack those things. Damn, that didn't feel good. I hate endless spells. I'm taking, in my Beastclaw army, I'm taking a butcher. Sorry, a slaughtermaster. Who is buff spell cannot land on me. And whose War Scroll ability is keyword locked to not land on me. But I'm taking him anyway. Because he summons endless spells and he can stand on a maw pit to make the range 18. That fucking sucks, but here we are. He's gotta do what you gotta do. He's got an unbind. I don't have an unbind otherwise. I can't summon endless spells otherwise. My own terrain feature can't be activated by me otherwise. Hey, alright. They could just shoot the wizard if only they had something that ignored guarded hero. KO don't have something. They don't have snipers. That's crazy, dude. I guess they don't really, now that I think about it. Because their basic troops have stupid little pistols, which I think is wrong. They should have had rifles. They should have had rifles. But yeah, they got pistols. And then the other dudes have... there isn't really a sniper thing. They're like missiles and bombs and stuff, I guess, and big cannons. They don't really have a sharpshooter guy. Now that I think about it. You know, Thunderers are still at least kind of big, right? 3 up save, 2 wounds. They look cool, too. I think the Thunderers look really nice. I like them. I wish the Arcanaut company had rifles instead of pistols. I think that was a mistake. You have 16 Iron Guts and 12 Gluttons, and you hate that the 3 Stonehorns don't benefit from the Butchers or the Slaughtermasters. Yeah, there's a hard line cutting the faction in half. You do want another 12 Gluttons, though? Jesus, that's so many Gluttons. I guess they're cool and fun now. 12 Gluttons potentially capture 36. It's 48 wounds. And against the 4-up save, their average damage is like 26 or something. That's sick. And you can lose a bunch of them and it's not too big of a deal. You've been running 30 Gluttons in your list with 8 Iron Guts? Hold up. How many of these shits can you actually fit? It's what, 440 for 12 of them? It's actually not that bad. How many gluttons can you fit in a list before the list becomes really stupid? Probably 24. More than that, and then it's maybe a stupid list, but that's cool. That girl in the video had immaculate drip, yeah. My favorite part of the video. 1900. One drop, 48 gluttons, and a single butcher. Oh, this is pod racing. Finally, we're doing it. Oh yeah, I was gonna look through an index, wasn't I? We should still do that. What army do you think I should look through? I gotta learn. I need to learn. If I recall correctly, we looked through Stormcast already. And it had a lot of stuff. We've been talking about KO this whole time. I almost feel like I should look through them. Trees, Iron Jaws, Skaven, Night Haunt, Slaves to Darkness. I've seen Slaves to Darkness. They look fun and good. Soulblight. We've been talking about Fire Slayers a lot. We have been. Alright, right now I'm leaning Skaven. I'm gonna get up and get a drink. BRB. Get up, stretch your legs a little bit. When we come back, Index. I'm leaning KO, but I think I could be convinced.
Right now, you could be savoring the rich, creamy flavor of angel food ice cream. It's the extra cream in angel food that blends all of your favorite flavors so they're always smooth and creamy. Never pointy. How about some rich and creamy angel food ice cream right now?
Novel Horizons. We are excited to officially announce our next collab featuring a certain professional hikikomori genius. That's right. It's Hanya the Genius. Pre-orders coming soon. Oh shit. Novel Horizons figurine. Alright. Hey. We've been talking about KO a lot. Let's stay on topic. Apologies, Skaven enjoyers and Death P. Remind me next time. Alright? Remind me next time. I don't think I've done a Death Army on stream yet. Justice for Death next. And as to which one, we'll figure that out. But Death is next. Today is KO. And we looked at these in the faction focus, so we're skimming. We got Flying High. Which allows them to deep strike more than 9. And then you put your guys next to it. I remember this. The 4th edition. They started out, doesn't exactly spark joy tier, is where they were. They have a Transport Skyfarer's ability now, which has you, the guys essentially just like run along the ground next to the ship, which I think is really stupid. But they have a really good argument for why it works that way that we talked about last time, but I'll bring it up again this time. And I'm like, damn, that shit's stupid. It's really stupid, but I gotta admit, they make a really good point. And that is, you painted all 30 of your little guys, you painted them up, they look cool, and then you play the game and they're just off the table in a box somewhere, and you're just moving ships around. And that's unfortunate. It's a shame not to play with your models on the table. And by gum, that's a good argument. It just is. Like, it's stupid that the little guys are just standing next to the ships all the time. But probably better on the table than off the table. So, you fucking got me. You got me. And how does it exactly work? Okay. Reaction, you declared a non-charge move ability for a friendly sky vessel. Wholly Within 6 is pretty short. Well, no, it's not. Their bases are kind of... I still think Wholly Within 6 is kind of short. Yeah, I like the idea of them hanging off the edge of the boats with grapnel launchers and stuff like that. That's how you have to, like, imagine it. Those units have been transported. A unit cannot use charge abilities if it was transported in the same turn. Subtract 1 for hit rolls for shooting attacks, target friendly, crowd, and overlord infantry while they're next to your stuff. So it protects, it gives them cover. That's kind of cool. Alright. Did we ever find out an answer to that one question that we had, any KO players? There was the frigate's like charge ability, and I wasn't sure if it allowed your guys to charge or not, because this thing says you can't charge, but it's specific, and now we care about keywords and exact wording of rules and stuff, and so I wondered if that thing worked or not. And it is a non-charge move ability. which is not a core move ability. Can you redeploy? Hold on. Tactics. So, can I redeploy and not even care what my role is, and just put a bunch of dudes, like, on the opposite side of a ship as somebody else? Can I do that? Is that legal? Frigate charge puts them in the combat if you want them to, but they have not specifically charged. Okay, so they haven't technically charged, but you can, like, get them into combat, which is kind of a charge. It's just not a keyword charge. Okay. Yes, the boats work with redeploy, and you can pull them out of combat to do so. It does work if the units aren't using the charge ability the boat is, yes. Cool, okay, so that's kind of neat. You can pull them out of combat doing that. It's kind of sick. Just a cool little tactical thing. You think it gets around it because they're not using the ability, they're just being targeted by something else's. Yeah, that's what I thought when I was reading it at the time, but I was getting a lot of pushback on that. And we didn't all really fully get the rules in any case. Transport rule is good. The Deep Strike has issues with ability ordering. How so? So, you deploy and you do the thing deploy, right? Your movement phase. Pick a friendly sky vessel in the clouds. Your movement phase effect. Set up the sky vessel anywhere on the battlefield more than 9. Then set up all other units that were set up in the clouds with that sky vessel holding within 6 of it and more than 9 from enemies. Can I move then? No, right? Because core, you can't core move after a setup. Deploy abilities and then other deployment abilities in deployment phase. You can't move a boat in with guys and then power through and move them out since it's only once a turn. Redeploy does work though. Okay. You can't use any movement phase abilities after setup. Not even just core. Okay. And then battle formations. Meticulously maintained. Ignore the first damage point that would be allocated to each friendly sky vessel each phase. My opinion of this ability has been tainted forever. But it's unfair, okay? I'm gonna go back in time before I lost Stone Skeleton and it was replaced with this shit. And I'm gonna say about this ability what I said in first edition when I was talking about 1 or 2 of the units that used to have it, in second edition when I was talking about Chaos Dwarf Heroes, I think had this ability back then as well. And I'm gonna say what I said about it then so that there's no so it's objective, okay? We're being objective. This ability fucking sucks. However, it's better than people think it is, and it can add up sometimes. But it's not really that good. Which is what I said about it in second edition. Anyway. But it can add up. And it's better than people think, but it isn't good. Aether Runnas. Fastest vessels in the fleet. Add 2 to the move characteristic. I like that. That's just good, right? Endrinier's Guild Expeditionary Force. Once per battle deployment. Special procurement. Pick a friendly, non-unique Corrado Norvlord's hero that does not have an artifact of power, and give it an artifact of power. This artifact of power is given to the unit during the deployment phase, not during any army composition. I gotta do my 4th edition react video soon, because I want to make the suggestion that we should be able to do this for just everything. We no longer even have battle line if anymore. It'd be cool. This one sounds good on paper, but you can't give them artifacts when they are in the sky. Really? Wait, what? Hold on. Let's talk me through this. It's not that I don't believe you. I just want to check the tapes. Oh, I bet we have to cross-reference the rule specifically that talks about what units can be affected by something if they're not on the table. Is that where we're going with this? Core rules deployment and rule 28. Okay. So if you are in the sky, you can't do this thing. I hope the KO players have submitted an FAQ about that. Because you like obviously should be able to from like, I guess, a balance perspective or something. And it's also something that I bet a lot of people wouldn't have noticed. I mean, I would play it how it's written, you know, but it's probably an oversight. It's the same in 40k. Units not on the board can't be selected for abilities, which is no fun. It comes up 2 more times in the index. See, that leads me to believe maybe it's a... They talked about it on Aethercast, and it feels bad, man. Grudge Settler Protocols. Add 3 to the range characteristic ranged weapons by friendly Thunderers and Gun Haulers units for the rest of the... Wait, for the rest of the turn? Oh, it's once per battle. No. I was about to say, hey, maybe you might... No, never mind. Once battle. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. N-O-P-E, nope. Your shooting phase only. So here's a question for you. To me, I'm looking at these and I'm like, yeah, +2 move. It's the most boring one, but it's the one that I want to take. Let's pretend for a moment that you can use special procurement. They fix it. FAQ comes out. Do you take this one now? Is this the one you take? Do you give up 2 move for an artifact? I guess I should look at the artifacts. It's artifact, right? Not trait. Yeah, artifact. Once per battle, any shooting or combat. Pick an enemy monster with... Nope. Monster? Not this edition. Once per battle, your shooting phase. Stop writing once per battle. I hate it. Okay, pick an enemy unit within 12. Ward rolls can now be made. Okay, your shooting phase once a battle. People say that everybody has wards now. It's not true. There's lots of armies that don't have any wards worth really much. I guess silver bullets are suddenly good instead of bad now because you're sideboarding, like during deployment. So I need not ignore something because it's a silver bullet, because right now suddenly that's good because you get to choose it at the last minute, right? So if you're playing against a ward army, then you take that one right. And if you're playing against monsters, then till the start of your next turn, subtract 1 from the number of dice rolled when making charge rolls for the target to a minimum of 1. Within 12, though. I think they'll still make it. Well, maybe it's within... When does this happen? Any shooting or combat phase? Well, it wouldn't be combat phase. It would be shooting. Which is after move, which is after they've redeployed. Once per battle, auto unbind. Take it. Yep, that's the one. I take this one. It's Voidstone Orb. That's the one I take. Yeah, damn, your artifacts suck. One of them is very good, even though it's once a game. I don't think you want... I don't think you want this thing even if it does work. As I see it. I mean, I'm kind of an outsider, but... Charging up Everwinter just to get hit by this. Spending 3 battle rounds and 2 off-turn prayers with 5 priests, getting lucky on rolls, only for them to spend a once a game, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you just take the 2-inch movement. That's clear to me. Heroic traits. Lords of the Sky Fleets. Add 2 to the range of ranged weapons used by friendly KO infantry while they're wholly within 12 of Endrin Maestro. 2 isn't a lot. What are your ranges on all your stuff, I guess? Are they like painfully short, like less than 18? Or are the ranges fine, like 18 and over? 12 kind of sucks. We're looking for infantry though, right? Arcanaut Company. Privateer pistols on all of them. Crazy short range. This unit actually sucks. Because 10 inches is nuts now. Bad. Rapid fire rivet gun. 2/3 of them get to have 15 inch though. So it would make it 17. Just maybe something. Thunderers are chilling at 18. Okay. Which is good. Makes it go from 18 to 20. And this thing goes from 10 to 12, which is not nothing. $18 to $12 is okay. Grudge Bearer. Pick an enemy unit to be the target, double the damage characteristic of this unit's weapons for attacks target the enemy unit for the rest of the battle. That's cool, but do any of your heroes... Are any of your heroes like damage guys? Like good shoot damage guys for this thing to matter? It's gotta be this unit's weapons. Seems to be a fundamental misunderstanding about how the game works. Cunning Fleetmaster. Each time a friendly sky vessel within 12 of this unit uses redeploy, roll 2 dice and use the highest. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. It's this one. To me, it's Fleetmaster, no question. But Endrin Maestro is second place. Grudge Bear bad. Okay. Interesting. Brock Grungson. We've seen his war scroll, I think, right? 18 inch, but only 1 attack. Dumb. Don't like it. 6 magnate pistols is alright. This guy is almost 300. He costs as much as a Stonehorn Beast Rider. Brock Grungson. Pick up the 2 other friendly Skyfarer units within this unit's combat range. Within combat range. Add 1 attacks. Are you actually meleeing in this army? I know there's Engine Riggers and Sky Wardens. But those are like units of 3. Usually pretty expensive, low number of attacks. I guess this fixes the low number of attacks, kinda, but you gotta be in combat range. I suppose they're all flying and fast. Maybe when everything is meleeing into you, it would help. I suppose you do have a 3-up save. Three ships, Holy 24 is a big range. You can use run and still shoot and or charge. And then end of turn, 2 up, mortal damage equal to the roll. Okay. He's got gruesome bite. I don't know. What are the points on Skywarden's engine? 130 for 3, 150 for 3, so 300 for 6, 260 for 6. You might just not have enough models. Like if these happen to be 5-man units, you might do it, but like 3 is an awkward amount, maybe. Dirigible suit man. Use 220. Add 1 to field repair rolls for engine riggers while they're wholly within 12. Pick a friendly sky vessel within this unit's combat range to be the target. So you're like a big healer. Run, shoot, and charge is the big thing. Yeah, I mean that's the that was the standout for me. Argonaut Admiral. Your hero phase. Pick a friendly Argonaut company unit wholly within 12. Add D6 to target's control score. Okay. Pick a friendly sky vessel wholly within 24 that is not in combat. Add 1 attack characteristic to target's ranged weapons. I like the sound of it. It's once per battle. But I'm no longer in the Ogre Maw Tribes book, so the once per battle effects, you don't have to roll to see if they still work, which is refreshing. I like that part about it. Holy 24 is pretty big too. It is Sky Vessel specifically, which is not also the guys inside, it's just the thing outside. Does a Sky Vessel shoot enough to make this worth it? I wonder. I'll look at it later. Once per battle deployment. Each time the target uses all attack while it's wholly within 12 of it, no command point is spent. Oh, free? Yo, you're good. Something like 5 or possibly even 6 or 7 free command points throughout the whole game. You'll love to see it. Bonus shooting, sure. Control score, sure. What do you cost? 180 is a lot, but that's a lot of command points you're buying. I like him. Admiral's another deployment phase issue. He can't use it on the deep strike ship. You know, I'm just going to assume they're going to figure all that out, but it is dumb. Anyway, Admiral, I like that guy. Navigator. This unit can use Unbind as if it were a wizard. Good, actually. Like, that's... You need that. That's good. Read the Winds. Once per turn army, your hero phase. So you don't want to... So you can't take multiple, really. Roll 6 dice. For each 1, pick a visible enemy within 18. For each 6, pick a visible friendly sky vessel within 18 of this unit to be a friendly target. So we pick an enemy target, we pick a friendly target. Inflict D3 mortal damage on each enemy target. If any damage points are allocated to an enemy target this way, halve its move characteristic until the start of your next turn. Okay. Add 3 to the move characteristic of each friendly target. 6 dice for each 1. So 1. Like, or maybe even 0. Or maybe, oh, it could be 6. You could roll 6 ones. Oh, shit. Is 18 inches far enough away to have move characteristic be really good of an ability? It's your hero phase, but it lasts until your next turn. Maho Dan, thanks for the big prime. Appreciate it for 4 months. Sorry, 5 months. Thanks a lot. This guy's ability works on what? Essentially a coin flip? Like he has like a 50% chance of being able to do this one time? You got to be the kind of person who wants to roll hot. Like you're just not going to ever fail to roll a 1 on it. And then it's a really strong ability, but every turn that you fail to roll a 1 out of 6 dice, he's like, crap. I mean, he does have an unbind. I just think the chances of rolling a 1 when you roll 6 dice is... I don't know I'm not good at statistics. Is it like 50%? Something like that? He's pretty cheap, 130, I guess. I maybe like him, I don't know. The ability's really strong, but I don't like how you resolve his ability. But then again, he's an unbind, which is super helpful. He doesn't take a... Oh, he doesn't? Hold up. Oh, he's a guild officer. Let's go. Is it like in the Ogre book where you don't want to take your main guy, or do you want to take your main guy? Like Derek, Flint... Arcanaut... Oh, Arcanaut Admiral is one of them. Never mind. Yeah, we do want to take one of our main guys. Okay. We're safe. Alright. I'm not 100% on resolving this ability, but the effect is really strong, and I think I want an unbinder anyway. So, Navigator, you're in. The price is right at 130. Alright, Dreki Fleet. The Aethermatic Equalizer Mark III. Hey, let me know when you get a Mark IV that has more range than 10, though. Captain of the Ailsling. Pick a friendly Arcanaut Frigate to be the target. Another deployment phase ability. Does this one work right? Target has the Aisling keyword, add 1 to the damage characteristic of its melee weapons for the rest of the battle. Cool. Pick an enemy monster in combat with this unit to be the target. Probably won't be, if I'm honest. It's the end of the turn, too. She can handle it. You can re-roll run rolls and charge rolls. Cool. What a way to spend the end of National Wing Day with the flats. Is it National Wing Day? I'm going to get some wings. I'm going to do it. Do people like this guy? Add 1 to the damage characteristic of its melee weapons. You can reroll run and charge rolls. Kind of like that with redeploy. Wait, no. Does that not count as a run roll? It's not. Never mind. That's a redeploy roll, not a run roll. Pardon me. It has the run keyword, but it's not a run roll specifically. That's the reason there. You cost 180. Oh, and you get a free frigate. Neat. Actually, everybody else gets whatever. It's not free. You have to choose a frigate. So if you were going to play one of those, you play him. If you weren't, you don't. This goofy guy. Yeah, there's a lot of guild officer options now. Once per turn army or hero phase, pick a friendly sky vessel. 2 up for the rest of the turn. The target can use retreat or run and still shoot. Sweet. No mortal damage is inflicted on the target by retreat abilities. Nor should it. Ever. I don't know why that... How come they did that this edition? How come shit takes damage when it retreats? You know? Why? That was a head scratcher for me. Endrin Master. Pick a friendly sky vessel within this unit's combat range to be the target and you heal. Okay. I like retreat, run, and... Oh, it's a normal 2-up as well. It's not a D3 2-up. It's a normal 2-up. Twice as likely to succeed. Neat. Once per turn army. Code right. This is the Bookman. I like Bookman. Advisory roll. Once per turn army or hero phase. Pick up to 3 visible friendly KO units. Roll a die for each. On a 3-up, pick one of the following effects to apply to that target for the rest of the turn. So your hero phase. Your turn only. 2 to control score. 1 to run and charge. No mortal damage is inflicted by retreating. Also, best melee weapon name in the game is Battle Tome. Just the best melee weapon name in the game. I'm not, like, blown away by any of these abilities, but he's funny. And really good name for the melee weapon. Aether Chemist. This guy used to be so sick. And then he wasn't good. And then he was good again because he could specifically get Spell in the Bottle. And now what's he doing? Once per turn army or shooting phase. Etheric Augmentation. Pick a friendly KO infantry. Wholly within 12. Roll die 3-up. Add 1 to the Rend characteristic. Good. Okay. Yeah. Good buff. I don't like rolling a 3-up for it. But it's a good buff. +1 Rend. Atmospheric Isolation. The Choking Fug. Pick an enemy unit in combat with it. Roll a die. 3-up. Subtract 1 from hit rolls. Damn. Mr. I hope you love your shit not working constantly with really strong effects. Boo. Okay, well, so you take an Aether Chemist, but you're not happy about it. And then your shit just randomly doesn't work all the time. Is that what this guy is? Or do people just not take him? Because I want -1 to get hit. I want +1 Rend. Mr. Fug. 3d6, 4s and 4s, 2-1. He always did have the 2 Rend 1 damage, which is weird. No, he's awful. Nobody is using him. Good. Send a message that this shit is not okay. I agree. Argonaut Company. These guys always make me sad. Because they were modeled with little pistols, and I think they should have had little rifles. Because since they're modeled with pistols, they think they should have no range. Instead of range. Fours and 4s, no Rend, 1 damage. Bleh. Bleh. Add 1 hit rolls for this unit attacks a target enemy unit contesting objective. Okay. And then you have your 1 in 10 that can replace with the funny weapons. 1 shot, 4s and 3s, 2d3. Anti-monster? This thing's a crit 2 hits. What does company cost? Probably just 100? Yeah, 110. No, sir, I don't like them. I just don't like the unit. Engine Riggers. 2 health, 4 up. They either have saws or what did they replace their saw, right? With the cool guns. So they have to either be... What's the cost on them? 260 for 6. Three saws, 4s and 3s, 2d3, yeah. Just like the olden days. And they do field repairs. So six guys. Let's pretend we're building a melee army now. We have 6 of them. We got Brock for +1 attacks. They're in combat range with them. There is a unit champ, right? Oh, cool. It says champion, not champion 1 of 3. So there's just 1 champion then. Even if it's 6. So 25 attacks next to Brock. 25 attacks, 4s and 3s, 2d3. We'll all out attack him. Like 15. And then 9. Alright. You can, like, maybe produce melee damage with these guys. If you're all in on it. And you don't use any of the funny guns. I don't know if the points are worth it, but... And then there's Sky Wardens. Who... Their Sky Peg is way worse. Well, it's not way worse, but 2 attacks. Crit Mortal, though. Interesting. What I like with Crit Mortal is high volume of attacks. Not a very... Like, 6 of them, 12, 13. 2 of them are gonna do Crit Mortals, maybe. I don't think that's enough. You could do 3 per with man. Pick an enemy unit. Oh, end of any turn, though. And then you get to retreat. So the difference in cost is 1. These are more expensive than engine guys, huh? So Sky Warden's 300, Brock. Oh yeah, I forgot he's 290. You don't. No way. Paying 290 for +1 attacks. I don't know if I can do that. Yeah. I think if you want to do melee, you just take engine riggers and a frigate, and you don't do the Brock thing. Instead of like Sky Wardens +300 plus babysitting. Nah. Grunstock Thunders. Oh, I forgot to look at their defense. Yeah, they just die. They are dead. They explode. Grunstock Thunders are 2 wounds on a 3-up. It's kind of big. They got some rifle shots. They got some Grunstock mortars. Is this like last edition where Aethershot Rifle was just actually pretty good? I think you take the mortars still. Shoot in combat with the fumigators. If this unit has not used a move ability this turn and was not set up this turn, its ranged weapons have shoot in combat for the rest of the turn. Oh, well, you get that anyway. Yeah, why bother? You get that. Cool. What do you cost now? The Thundies. 140 for 5, 280 for 10. This thing is like never happening. Unless it's your opponent's turn and you're just actually in combat already and chilling or something. I don't know. Not Ironclad. I think we looked at the frigate, but we didn't look at the Ironclad. $20 health, 3-up save. 5 control. No ward detected. This unit is armed with Aether Shot carbines, Aether Shot torpedoes, boarding weapons, and one of the following 3. Great Sky, Great Sky, Great Volley. So all 3 of the greats, those are the choices. Either 24-inch 2 attacks, 4s and 2s, 2d3 plus 3. Or 24, 2, 3, and 2, 2d6. This is a really good damage characteristic. 2 shots hitting on 4s, in my personal experience, means 0. But just roll 6s, like easy, right? I suppose if you want to be in range of these, you could go for this. 4d6, what is that average? 14. 14, and so 7 hit and 4 wound. And then they make 4 saves, so they fail 1, and then they take 1. No, wait, it's anti-infantry. Okay. Oh yeah, you get free AoA every single turn. You're right, it's a turn aim. You get AoA for absolutely free all the time. Let's go. Which is cool. If an enemy unit does not have the fly, and this unit passed across, roll 10 dice for each 4 up, inflict the mortal. Passing across an enemy in your movement phase, like 10 is not a lot. 10's very low. If you're outside of combat, 3.1, and you pass across them and land, that's already 6. A little more even. So passing across someone and landing is actually pretty hard. You have to be really close to them to do that. Well, no, you're right. Person. Yeah, Leon Duval. They are 12 because of our sub-faction, which makes it a lot more doable. I'm just looking at this and seeing 5 mortal wounds, and I like the sound of that. Although I should learn to start calling them mortal damage instead of mortal wounds. But I've had 8 years of saying mortal wounds, and I need to break the habit. Combined model count to 22, so you take a admiral, navigator, and 20 thunders. Like that's the big shoot. That's what I secretly want to be good, right? Great engine works. Pick one of the following effects to apply for the rest of the battle. Oh, they put your mount traits on the war scroll. They're like, you can't live without your mount traits. We're gonna print them right on the war scroll. Interesting. Add 2 to the unit's move. Oh shit, can we go 14 with this thing now because of our sub-faction? Hold on, let me cross-reference here. Add 2 to the movement characteristic of all friendly sky vessels. It's just all friendly sky vessels. Which means the Ironclad is cruising speed at 14. Add 1 to the total number of units and 10 to the total number of models this can transport. It's got like a double-decker thing on top of it. This unit can use the Unbind abilities if it has a wizard. Actually, that's really useful. That's really useful. This edition? When your opponent's summoning some fucking bullshit on your own turn every time? Anyway, cool. How many ironclads can fit in one army? I don't know. It depends on how many turtles this costs. As you know, a turtle is 500 points, and so the unit of measure for points that we use is more or less than 1 turtle. TU. Ironclad is 1 turtle unit. 1 TU. It's a turtle. Hey, alright. So if you wanted to play 2 of these in the army, that would be a lot. I don't know if you could fit that. Yeah, what's the TQ, the turtle quotient? They don't get their mount rate if they deep strike, yeah, because they wrote the rule wrong. Alright. I think you probably end up having to only play 1. I don't... In my head, the points don't work out, because it's 1,000 for 2 of these. And then if you want 10 Thunderers, it's 260. If you want 20 Thunderers, it's 520. And you can't really fill the other Ironclad up with anything. You don't have enough points for that. You play a few heroes and you're already at like 17 something. It's probably 1 full Ironclad and then a bunch of like stuff. But that's what I would do. That's what I like. Like if I'm playing KO, it's Ironclad 20 Grunstock Thunderers all the way. Because it's like the thing, right? It's the shooting army, it's the ship army. So you take the biggest shoot guys, and you take the biggest ship thing. It's like you play Iron Jaws, you want to play Brutes and Maw Crusher. It's just like, it's the thing that you do. Anyway, that's cool. The frigate, it's cool that it has like an assault thing in melee. I just don't want to do that in this army, really. If I want to fight, they'll choose a fucking Gluttonen. I will bust guts. Or play whoever, Corn, something, I don't know, whatever melee army. Every army's melee. Is it weird, chat, if you play the literally every army is melee, the game, and you choose the one, like, ranged army, you play melee in it? Is that weird, or is that, like, you play EverQuest and then you choose a Necromancer and just solo? You just like to do the thing that you're kind of not supposed to. I think that's reasonable. I think a lot of people like to do stuff like this. Like, I want to play an MMO so I can solo and never talk to anyone. But that's actually, like, really common, I think. Anyway, we look and tell. I have something to show the class. Be right back. Alright. I remembered an old painting project that I, like, assembled these guys and never painted them. And I was just reminded. We were looking at KO, okay? I gave them... I don't know if you can see it because my camera will not. It absolutely will not focus. But I gave them the Rocketeer helmets and the Rocketeer backpacks. And I was going to paint him up with, like, red leather, you know, do the Rocketeer outfit with him. I only have one squad of engine riggers, but I found the actual Rocketeer helmet for them all. And the little backpacks. And I never painted these. I like kind of forgot about them until just now. Anyway, I should put paint on those. And then have like the blimps be the, well, actually I guess you couldn't do the blimps because it's like a Nazi blimp and you don't want to be that guy. But everything else could be pretty cool. Anyway, I just have a little 3-man unit of them. Is HeyWoah going to start playing KO? No, I just have 3 of them that I'm like, damn, I'm going to do some engine riggers because they came out with KO. And I'm like, oh, those guys are cool. I'm going to make them just a little 3-man unit, give them custom helmets and have it look like the Rocketeer and paint them up. And it'll just be a nice little thing. I'm going to take a decent picture of them. But I got to I'm going to put paint on those guys. Anyway, it just reminded me of that. And I went and got it. Gotta give them the flat brims. Love the Rocketeer and themed KO. Army would be great. Yeah, Rocketeer I fondly recall. Good script. Good script. Classic Americana, I guess, of a movie. Grunstock gun hauler. It's a fucking bathtub with a cannon in it. It's kind of like an iron blaster in a way. Except, can it hold guys? It can hold 5 men. While any friendly Arcanaut ironclads or frigates are within its combat range, both have a... Oh, cool. This is how you get a ward. Okay. So, this is how we get a ward. I don't know that I was exactly trying to get... You know, I roll my 2 4-ups to hit and fail and then pass the turn kind of cannon. But it's got a small transport capability. And it gives a ward. How much did they cost? 200. No. Alright, and that's it. You don't know that the Rocketeer was good, but it was definitely fun, and that's worth something. The script was very well written. It's tight, and the movie's fun, and one of the ways that I critique a movie is, you know, it's the classic thing. What were you trying to do, and did you succeed? So, you know, there you have it. It's hella hammy, and hella corny, and hella, like, Silver Age America, right? But that's exactly what it's trying to do, and it succeeds at it, so fair enough. Anyway, how do I feel about KO now? Can we say 1 broken ability, except it's 5 broken abilities, but it's the other definition of broken, as in straight doesn't work? I think it's really cool to put 20 Thunderers and an Admiral in an Ironclad and just fucking shoot shit and do like skateboard kick flips back and forth between shit. Like, that's cool. Everything else the army's doing is like expensive and weird, and the puzzle pieces don't work right, then you don't have a wizard and you don't have a priest, and you can't really interact with manifestations, and it's spaghetti. Spaghetti's just kind of fallen out of your pockets this edition. It still does not exactly spark joy. Possibly even battle traits fail because they don't work right now. You know what? I'm going to put him in D tier as a joke. Because the broken ability are the abilities that don't actually function. It's the other definition of broken. Get owned. And so I bet what you are is you are an expensive spaghetti rules, can't interact with most of the game, but I bet you're really annoying to play against. So it's the worst of everything. Like, you end up losing, but your opponent complains about you after beating you. It's one of those, I think. Is this tier based on vibes or power level? Vibes, for sure. It's explicitly not power level. It's a excitement to play it or hype tier list. When I was making the tier list, I'm like, this is not power level. It's not win percent. It's not how strong you are. It's just how fun you look. Like, that's it. How fun you look to play. Like, how excited am I? I read your rules. Do I want to go out and buy the army? You know, it's pretty vibes based, right? But I think that's almost all we can do at this point anyway, and I think that's really important. Especially if the stuff is true. Yeah. You're gonna win, and you're gonna hate every minute of it. Against me. Alright. Norgrim's fine too, but it gives them more of what they already have, and a priest. Black Talon is really what they should go for. Chaos Transport rule is their actual good rule, but it's also super annoying. Yeah, I think it works that way too, you're right. I think it does. Alright. That was shorter than I thought for KO. But I guess it worked out anyway. Remind me next time, chat, that we're doing death. We haven't done any death. Justice for death. We've done a lot of destruction. We've done several order. We've even done a chaos or two. Bobby Briccolini. Yeah. Bobby Briccolini is somewhat diminished this edition. We got time for FEC because there's like 2 units in it, yeah. OBR next time, maybe. I'm hesitant about OBR because maybe I need to not listen to the hype. I got to go into it fresh. Clear my mind and just experience. That's what you should do, after all. So maybe I'll do that. I don't need to read Nighthaunt because everybody says it's so good, so I don't care. You know? I don't need to see why it's so good or how it's so good. I don't care. It's 1 out of 26 armies. I'll never play against it. You gotta win to play against Nighthaunt in the tournaments. I won't be doing that. Who cares? I wonder if it's... Maybe it's Flesh Eater Courts next. I don't know. KO needs a few units to function this edition, to be honest. A melee anvil, at least. I've always said that the next obvious addition to KO is the... What is that? The Big Daddy from Bioshock. Just some big brass scuba diving ass harness. Like, one of his hands is a big drill, kind of 12-foot tall exoskeleton thing. Just something like that. I think would fit pretty nicely. Seraphon in A. I can't remember my reasoning. I would have to look and go back. I can't remember anything about Seraphon. This is my fault, not Seraphon's fault. It's just, to be quite honest, I don't really like dinosaurs that much. And Seraphon rules are always like stupid and annoying and good. And I just don't care. I just don't care. Words, words, words. They're all so good. And it like goes in one ear and out the other. Yeah, you can do all this shit. Whatever. When I write their section of videos, I really do try. You know, I give it a good shake. But on a personal perspective, Seraphon is like hella not what I'm about. Seems like it plays Raptidons and Agridons only, and you can't take all the fun heroes at once anymore. I heard the Raptidons and Agridons are good. You want to be oops all Froge mages. Tanky, brick dinos, and a bunch of skinks and stuff, yeah. Soulblight is mostly the same, but eating good with everyone being a wizard, yeah. Dude, I saw their battle trait, it's so good. It's so good. Like, you look at some of these, what do they call sub-factions now? Battle formations. Hey, ignore the first damage point that would be allocated to each friendly sky vessel each phase. Damn, dude, that fucking sucks. What a nothing ability. And then, what do we got for Soulblight? You know? What are we doing for that? Add 1 to casting rolls for friendly vampire units while they're not in combat. And add 1 to wound rolls for combat attacks made by friendly vampire units that charge in the same turn. What? These are not similar. Like, holy. All elementary age boys either go through a path of monster trucks or dinosaurs. HeyWoah just being on brand. When I was a child, I didn't like monster trucks or dinosaurs. I was a weirdo. I was a fucking weirdo. I was into neither of those two things, even as a child. I was an alien hermit, even from the age of 6. I liked Legos. I liked building stuff. Anyway. Oops All Vampires battle formation is the coolest. Yeah, this shit's kind of nice, though. Anyway, I'm going to hit publish. I'm going to do it. Did you like Redwall? Are you excited for Bloomborough? When Redwall came out, I was a little too old for it. My brother read it, and he liked it. Am I excited for Bloomborough? I'm excited for the exactly 4 singles that I'll be buying from that set for my commander decks. Yes, for sure. I really like Bloomborough. It's got fanciful, characterful art. It's finally we're getting a magic IP instead of just sell out, cash grab, slop, fucking Marvel garbage. Now I'm all upset. Anyway, I am looking forward to Bloomborough. It's nice, it looks cool, it's a magic IP, they look like they're having fun with it. The cards seem very strong. There's a lot of good commander cards in it, and as a commander player myself, I appreciate that. And I'm going to buy probably 4 or 5 of the singles from there and slot them in my commander decks and have a good old time. I don't care much for bunnies and squirrels and rats and foxes and stuff. I don't care. Like, whatever, right? But mechanically I like them, and I like the art too. It's a perfect time for my cam to freeze. No, alright, we're back. We're back. As a child, you like Legos, dwarves, and World War II planes, yeah. Yeah, overall, I appreciate it. I just, man, every time they print a set that's not Disney's, Marvel's, McDonald's, Fortnite, the Remember This, you know? I just want all those to fail really hard, and I want their own IP to succeed, secretly. But it's much too late for that. Go to sleep, Grandpa. Anyway, TY for watching this fine evening. I will see you guys Thursday for Rifto Day. And then Friday for AOS Day. I hope you enjoy episode 2. And also, as soon as I'm done with this stream right now, I'm going to make a thumbnail and then click upload. Actually, it's already uploaded. I'm just going to click public for the YouTube video. So please enjoy that for an hour. If you want to hear some guy absolutely bitching about Ogre Maw Tribes. I'm just kidding. It's a feedback video. And for an hour, I talk about the things that I like about it. And I'd give them, like, this is good, and other things, not so much, but it's just feedback, how I feel right now. Anyway, I tried to be helpful, but also kind of entertaining. And I hope you like the video, and I hope you like the Rift stream. And see you Thursday. Thanks for watching.